What?
There we go. Hi, everybody.
Hi, every peoples.
My name
We
is-
forgot to start the thing.
We did. I forgot to hit a button.
We were talking about stuff. And
It was
Underwear.
super important. Whatever it was super important. How are you doing, sir? Hi, Reaper.
It is just. Yep.
It is a whole thing. It is a whole thing. Why is that everything? There we go. Busy week?
If it is. No. It's
No?
just. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
It's just yeah.
It's just 2020 at this point.
All over again.
It is 2022, and therefore, yeah.
And by the way,
It
Reaper,
is a whole unit.
It is
in a
not.
good way.
It is not that I started streaming and was streaming for an hour before I realized that I hadn't hit start. It was that I was streaming and I went offline and nobody fucking said anything for an hour.
Oh, that shows how much attention people pay to you.
I know. Nobody was even paying attention. They were like having conversations in the stream chat without me, and like nobody
Yeah,
said
I mean-
what happened to the stream. So it's not
That's
my
fair.
fault. It's all your fault. It's nobody's fault.
Oh, it is always the stupid cable. Like I need to. Worst thing about the way I have my stuff set up. Like I have to run. Oh, okay.
There, that's
Like I can't have my headphones on the right side, and I.
Oh, I know. It makes me crazy. Like all of my audio shit is on the right hand side of me, but my headphone
Right.
plug is on the left, and it's stupid.
And you can't just turn it around because that doesn't.
No, not unless you want to look like this,
Yeah,
because it
that's-
doesn't hang on your.
And it doesn't. It's
doesn't-
not right.
No, it's all weird. Anyway, how is all the things?
It is, man. It's just a lot.
Yeah,
It's
it's been 2 weeks. So the war started before we talked last, right? I can't remember.
Or do it must maybe it just started, but yeah.
So that's a whole
it-
thing. World War III
That's a
started.
whole. I mean, maybe
I mean, right now it's really just
right now
Russia,
everyone's trying real hard to not start World War III.
except Russia and maybe China. They're kind of on the fence still. They're like,
I feel like even China's like Russia, dude. We like what you did in theory, but
a couple of days before the stream. Okay, at least someone's here that pays attention to what.
yeah,
Happened.
life, the universe, and the world.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, someone's mouthy.
Yeah. She's in a mood. Hi. What are we doing? All right. That's
Yeah,
what we're
because
doing.
last stream the big focus was that she had the tube, and
Yes, she was not very happy last stream.
well, she was stoned out of her mind.
Oh
last
yeah,
stream.
because it had just happened that day.
She didn't have the consciousness to be unhappy.
She was very high. She's doing much better. She got her stitches out,
Oh, good.
and it's all healing up. Her hair's growing back in.
Okay.
She's gonna probably have a big scar. So we're gonna call her Scarface. Her whiskers are growing back in. That makes her happy.
So the important thing is though to make sure she knows if you're going to call her Scarface, not to use her own cocaine.
I mean, that's true. Never get high on your own supply.
Right.
That's the rule, right?
That is one of the commandments, after all.
the commandments. Commandment 11. Never get high.
No, it's hold on.
God.
Because okay, number 1, never let no one know how much dough you hold.
Oh, yeah.
Number
Forgot.
2, never let them know your next move.
Right.
Number 3, never trust nobody.
I mean, that's a given, right?
Number 4 is never get high on your own supply.
Gotcha.
Number 5, never sell crack where you rest at.
That's fair. That's a good idea.
I don't care if they only want an ounce, let them bounce.
I mean, yeah, because you want to be able to get some sleep, and you can't when there's crackheads all around.
Number 6, that credit, debt it. You think a crackhead's paying you back? Forget it.
That's a good point as well. It's a very good point.
Number 7, and this rule is underrated, keep your family and your business completely separated.
That's true. That is very true as well.
Money and blood don't mix like 90s homophobia. I mean, he didn't say 90s homophobia. It's just he said a 90s homophobic comment.
Gotcha. I was like, what? I'm very confused.
Number 8, never keep no weight on you.
I mean, we don't want to be fatties, right?
Number 9, should have been number 1. If you're not getting arrested, stay away from police.
If you're not getting arrested, stay away from police.
Yeah.
So
if people think you're snitching, then they're not trying to listen.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And then number 10, a strong word called consignment, strictly for live men, not for freshmen. If you ain't got the clientele, say hell no, because they gonna want the money, rain, sleet, hail, snow.
What? Is that about like not doing advances?
I guess.
Like, I had a friend who used to get fronted drugs, and then he would have to pay the people back, which always felt really sketchy to me.
Yeah. I feel like number 10 might need some commentary.
Yeah, I feel like that one's a little complicated. I feel like they were really shooting to find an even number. Like they should have stopped at 9, and they were like, "Nah, we need to do at least one more." Was that written by Shakespeare? Yes.
Let's see what Genius Lyrics says, because Genius Lyrics is the expert. Okay, so it's the flip side of the inventory advice to Rule 8. If you don't have a sufficient client base, don't take crack from your dealers on consignment, because they will want the money. So yeah, and you never want to, like, the bank's not going to let you pay them in crack.
Right.
I think.
Right. Yeah, that was one thing that was always like, my friend used to get large quantities of marijuana fronted to him by his people, whoever they were. I don't know.
Mysterious people.
Yeah. And that was one thing he learned the very first time, was you don't get to take back like half of it and say, I couldn't sell this.
Right.
They don't care. He legit took half of it back and was like, I couldn't sell this. And they were like, that's not our problem. And he was like, okay, can I see you in a couple days then maybe? It's the worst drug dealer ever.
Oh, man.
That's why he ended up with an ankle bracelet.
Which means he listened to rule number 5? No, where is it? Number 9. If you're not getting arrested, stay away from the police.
He got arrested. arrested.
Well, I mean,
so he was.
It's
around the police.
That's why I'm so hissy.
Did you forget to turn on your sibilance detector?
My sibilance machine was off. That's better.
I want a sibilance machine that just like hisses into microphones and goes,
like an anti-de-esser.
Yes.
an over-esser.
An over-esser.
I'm sure Waves has one.
I'm sure.
I mean, Waves has everything else, right?
But you buy it, and then they update it the next year, and you have to buy it again.
Right.
What
no,
rule
they give it to you for free.
Oh, right. Right. What rule is Reaper is always right? That is the rule of nuns, my friend, because
Yeah.
that rule is incorrect.
Especially when it comes to spelling.
I got two of these things.
What are those things?
You put it underneath your mouse. It's like a wrist support for your mouse hand.
Well, see, and I have like this is my mouse pad that has like
The cool thing about this is that your palm like fits in it and then it slides around with your mouse hand.
oh, okay.
So it's not stationary and you don't have to. I'm still getting used to it.
Did you see the
Shit.
there's a TikTok that turned up. I think Mrs. Pastor sent it to me. It was of a dude who's blind who was gifted a mouse pad. And he's like, this is the most comfortable mouse pad that I've ever used.
It was
like,
it was anime
like
titties, wasn't it?
Yep, it was.
I have heard those are really comfortable.
And no one ever said anything to him. He had no idea.
I actually almost bought an Elvira one because I've heard that those are super comfortable. And I was like, well, Elvira's like kind of classy, I guess.
I imagine they would be, right?
It's like
it's the same idea as that thing.
Yeah. Except this is hard. So not quite the same. Yeah. So that was a thing I bought.
I expected Pastor to have an anime nun mouse.
I mean, that's...
I do have a mouse pad that says, Jesus loves you, Cthulhu thinks you taste like chicken.
Well, how does Cthulhu know what chicken tastes like, is my question.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because he only eats humans, right? Or whatever.
Does Cthulhu eat humans, or is it just like a side effect?
Well, I mean, if he eats your soul...
Does Cthulhu eat?
Babies.
Cthulhu can eat nothing forever, but his favorite food group is meat.
He can eat nothing forever. Okay. Okay.
Cthulhu, yeah. Why do you think chickens run around once their heads are cut off?
They're running away from Cthulhu.
We had a theory that our cat would summon Cthulhu.
By staring at the corner?
By running up to the top of the stairs and meowing as loud as possible for like 10 minutes every night.
Oh. I mean, that's one way to summon Cthulhu, I've heard.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that Kristen Stewart movie?
No. What was it called again?
What was it? Underwater.
Underwater?
You need to watch that.
No, I need to watch that.
I need to watch it again. You need to watch it.
Like, I like her. She caught a lot of crap, but she's actually a pretty good actress.
Yeah, I'm enjoying her more now that she's actually like doing things that you can tell she wants to be doing.
Right.
Instead of Twilight.
I mean, I can absolutely not fault her for like doing the first one and then like just being stuck in doing all the other ones.
Yeah. I do find it interesting that you have her and Robert Pattinson, who both, like, he turned out to be an amazing actor as well, right?
Right.
But both of them were in that and were just given tons of shit about how they couldn't act and it was horrible. And they were like, okay.
And their counter to that was, okay,
we're just going to go make
and then they started doing good stuff and are like, good.
Yeah. It's, they did well. I rewatched The Runaways with Kristen Stewart. This was a really good film.
Okay.
I liked that. I like the pseudo documentary things about musicians. They're fun.
What did I watch her in? Challenge accepted.
Which challenge? What did we do? Who did we challenge?
I'm not sure what challenge we challenged.
I don't either. I hope it wasn't like Find out where we live.
I mean, he has your address.
True. And if you showed up at my door, you have to know that I would 100% rat you out.
That's fair.
I'd be like, nope, here you go. And actually, I don't have your new address, do I? I think the last thing I sent you was still your old address.
Yeah.
So
And now I've got the P.O. box.
So I'll never know where you live now.
Nope.
Ain't that a bitch?
You can't even rat me out.
I mean, I bet. Actually, no. I was thinking, I bet I could find it. Challenge accepted. Oh, that's what they said. Challenge accepted because.
Oh, no, okay. I was trying
sense.
to figure out what challenge Reaper was accepting.
Yeah, he's gonna act better than they did in Twilight.
I mean, fair.
To be honest, probably not too hard. Yeah.
She was in the Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas.
Yes, I didn't know
in an uncredited role as the ring toss girl.
I didn't know that she was making movies back when she was tiny when she started. I had no idea. I thought that it was like Twilight was really like her first thing, but no, she'd been doing shit for a while.
Twilight. She has a lot of credits. She was in Jumper.
Yeah,
that was a weird movie.
I loved that movie. It was a good one. I enjoyed it. We've been watching
Panic Room. Which one was? Oh, Jodie Foster. Yeah, I remember Panic Room.
Where they locked themselves in a panic room. Dinner cakes.
Hi, Dinner Cakes.
Hi, friend. It has been a minute. Oh, God.
Did you step on the cat?
No, the cat's over there, staring at the door.
Oh, okay.
I just was readjusting. I've been sitting in computer chairs all day, and
yeah, because you do that for work now.
I do, and it's irritating. I mean, it's fine. My desk at work is like just the right height that I can't quite cross my legs underneath it without it like smashing my knees, which is super irritating.
Yeah.
So there's been lots of talk about getting standing desks for everyone, which I would be stoked about.
I like the ones that like give you the option.
Yeah, that's like these are the mechanical ones that go up and down.
Oh, okay.
They're very cool. I like them a lot. I started watching Star Trek Enterprise.
I'm so sorry.
I bought the whole series on Vudu on sale for like $5.
It's not even worth that. It's
okay.
So bad.
Okay. I tried to watch it like 3 times and I couldn't get through the first 2 episodes. Like I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, because it's so bad.
And one of the guys that I work with is like a huge Trekkie, and he's like, "No, you got to get through the first ones are always awful. You got to get through it. It gets better." And it does. It did get better. I've got like 1 episode left before I've finished the first season, and it feels like a Star Trek show now. And I kind of like what they're doing or what they did. I guess this was like 20 years ago.
Right.
They with the whole like getting to experience stuff that you're always hearing about in the past kind of thing.
Right. It's just it just wasn't good. I could not enjoy
It's not amazing. It's not amazing. But after watching the entirety of Next Generation, like my bar's pretty low.
that first season of Next Gen was rough.
The first 3 seasons were like until halfway through the 3rd season. It was a painful thing.
Was it 2nd or 3rd season where Beverly Crusher left because of all the abuse that the actor was taking?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, and that was like it was 3rd season was when they got their new outfits that weren't stupid. Yeah. Because those first 2 seasons were just dumb outfits. And that's when Riker got his beard. Like, the entire thing changed. Yeah, when Riker
got the beard.
Data got his skin tone changed a little bit. Like, a whole bunch changed between season 2 and 3. And I will say I do find it a little difficult because the executive producer on next generation is not going to be able to say his name now.
Berman?
Yes.
Rick Berman?
And he's the one that supposedly...
He's the abusive jackwagon.
So I am watching this show for the first time, and I'm seeing things that I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Drive
Heading
safe.
home, no talking about anything important. Okay, so the most important thing that happened this entire week.
But we can only talk about it for a minute.
Right. How long does it take Reaper to get home?
It was like 10 minutes or something.
All right, plenty of time.
Yes. What else has been going on? I had to RMA a Western Digital hard drive.
Oh, how did that go?
Still, I mean, they have it now, and I haven't gotten the new one.
They didn't like cross ship it. They just
No, of course not. Of course not. No, my RMA status says waiting for shipment or something. Oh. They're basically waiting to get mine, which is sitting there now, and it just needs to be processed, which
right.
Take forever.
I'm still waiting for a wireless microphone. Like it's I think it's back ordered until like May. But at least like I found somewhere that like it is back ordered until like May, so I'm not just like I at least have a target time.
Right. That sucks.
And the thing that's rough, I need like it comes in 2 frequency ranges, right? It comes in like 470 to 530 and 530 to 590, and I need the higher one because that's where there's more room where I live.
Oh, gotcha.
And like I could order the other one like and get it tomorrow, but that I can't use that one.
Yeah.
There's not enough there's too many TV stations for me to use that one.
We've been watching the old Batman TV show.
Like the Adam West one?
Yeah. And
nice.
There have been a couple times where audio things have happened. Like last night, the episode we were watching, the villain in the episode was Siren. And she sings what is supposedly 2 octaves above middle C, but it's like not at all. It's like this super high pitched like sine wave. And they talk about audio, and they talk about like the episode last night. They were talking about she uses a frequency that it's 12,000. And they kept saying it's supposed to be hertz, right? It's 12,000 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have earplugs in to block 12,000 hertz and above, so that they don't get hurt by her whatever. Except they, I guess, decided that nobody would understand hertz in relationship to audio, so they just replaced all of the audio stuff with decibels. So they're like,
so it was 12,000 decibels.
We put plugins in our ears so we can't hear above 12,000 decibels, and I'm like, that would shatter the earth.
12,000 decibels would be, oh gosh,
that would literally break planets.
That is so far outside of the realm of. Okay,
because like a jet engine is like 130
max. Sound pressure level. Because there's a level that like the air can't make it be any louder.
Right. Because
so that's 194.
Yes.
So I remember at 194 decibels, the low creates a vacuum.
Yes. It literally defies the laws of physics.
So
$1 billion. Yes.
And it's logarithmic.
Right.
So 194 decibels, like 12,000 decibels.
It's earth shattering. Literally the gap between the sine the waves would suck the earth in. It would destroy planets.
Right. Okay.
But it's just funny because every time they say something like that, I start laughing, and Johnny's like, "What?" And I'm like, "That
Right.
sound doesn't like that's so loud it doesn't
It's
exist."
not real. That's DB to.
There is a nubs.
Okay, so we can convert.
There's a nubs cam.
Okay, I don't care about potential exposure time. Where? So I want to convert. Okay, so from SPL to pascals.
Come over here and say hello.
Um,
Oh, you're supposed to be on the camera. Come here. Yes, I know. Come be on the camera. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Ow. No, over here.
okay, that's not actually.
Nubs.
Oh wait, underwater. What about underwater? So 12,000. Oh,
Yes.
uh,
Little monkey.
12,000 decibels. The calculator just kicked out infinity.
It's just like it's louder than God.
It is louder than the loudest possible loudness.
It is loud. It is the loud. It is the very loudest.
I wish I could easily send a screenshot of me typing in 12,000 decibels and it literally kicking out the word infinity.
Infinity. Just I wonder 12,000 a sound of 1,100 decibels would create a black hole larger than. Hold on, it's loading.
Hold on.
Larger than. Okay. The sound of 1,100 decibels would create a black hole larger than the galaxy.
Okay. So yeah, doing just
Wow.
1,200 decibels is 2 times 10 to the 55 newtons per square meter. So that's a lot.
That's a number that my brain's just like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
That is a 2 and 55 zeros.
Good God. I would like 1 penny for each of those, please. Still not. It wasn't enough to stop Batman. He created bat plugs that blocked out the sound above 12,000.
Universe-destroying black hole Batman.
That's the funniest part. It blocks sounds louder than 12,000 decibels.
Right.
At least
so quieter than that is fine.
Yeah. Anything below 12,000 is.
Yeah.
It's not going to do any harm at all.
That is Burlington, Colorado. Oh,
Burlington? That's like right outside Denver, isn't
it? In the dead middle of nowhere. Wow.
I remember Burlington.
Oh, your audio just went away.
Mine?
Is that on my end?
That has to be. That has to be on your end. The little green thing didn't change. That doesn't mean anything to do with it. He can't hear us. I can talk shit about him now. Pastor's audio doesn't ever work.
Okay, well.
And it's totally his fault.
I guess it's time for a break, and I reboot my computer now.
All right, we're going to take a quick break while Pastor reboots his computer. Yeah, that's weird. We can hear him fine. But he's...
So I'll be back.
Okay. Bye. We'll be right back while he fixes things. I need to go get some water anyway. Intermission. All right, it's just me. Hi. We can wait. We can wait together since. Watch his computer never reboot. That would be great if he just never came back. We never heard from Pastor again, ever. I'm gonna reboot because my audio stopped working, and then no. So how have you been? What have you been up to? I got fruit punch body armor. Body armor just tastes like normal drinks but watered down. It's not bad. It's just not good either. This is Johnny's, but it's been sitting in the fridge forever. And he's like, take this, because I forgot to put my waters in the fridge, so they're warm. Oh, it's coconut water. That's probably what I'm tasting. I don't think I ever knew that it was coconut water. That makes a lot of sense. Figuring out how to connect power by to test rail. I've heard one of those words. What is test rail? Test management platform. Oh, that's Gurok. Is that the same thing? Test rail by Gurok. That would be it. Modern test case management software. I want an environment where there's tests. We don't even have tests. Our shit is so old. There's no tests. There's no tests. Testing is for the weak. Just do it in prod. We don't need any of that. Straight to production. Oil and gas software. Interesting. I bet those systems are crazy. I mean, if you're testing software that engineers use, doesn't that sort of make you a software engineer at least? I mean, if they're going to let us be loosey-goosey with the term engineer when it comes to software, then then we're all software engineers. I engineered the shit out of some software today. Actually, what's my official title now is what is it? I have to go to LinkedIn to look myself up because I have no idea what my title is. Software developer. I am a developer. I develop things. Not according to my page, I'm right. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I guess technically I could be a full stack developer, which is just more words that mean nothing. Just adding more words to the title of nonsensicalness. What does it mean to be a full stack developer? We don't know. Nobody knows. It means you do all of the stacks. There's a pastor's face back. Okay. Well, I came back without you.
Oh, well, fine then.
So we're already back.
Well,
Java?
fine then.
I mean, so technically full stack is supposed to be everything from the back end all the way to the front end. So like
whoa there, Tiger.
in my stack, it would be just everything in the LAMP stack from Linux all the way through to JavaScript on the front end and everything in between. And to be full stack, you have to be able to do front end development, back end development, and DevOps, which technically I can do all those things.
Okay, so
Yes, me and Dinner Cake's just hanging out talking about software.
test oil and gas software. Okay. I was in one of my Discords. So it's a Discord for a software. and officially unofficial software to play tabletop BattleTech.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. But they were talking about like basically all these old languages, and somebody's like, I used to know COBOL. I'm like, okay. And they were talking about Pascal. I'm like, okay, I learned Pascal once. I don't remember any of it, but I learned it once. Nobody mentioned Fortran though.
It's because you say that now and everyone thinks you're talking about Fortran.
Yeah, that's true. I narrowly missed having to learn Fortran in college.
COBOL. We were just talking. So the Senate passed a bill to lock daylight savings time in, right?
Yes.
And it won't take place until November of next year. If everything gets signed
if it
off
passes
on.
the House, and yeah.
Right. And the reason they said they were going to wait that long is because they needed certain industries to chime in on, and specifically like the airline industry, they wanted to make sure was okay with that.
Oh.
And we were talking about it at work. I don't think they've thought this through. So there are operating systems that have that time change hardwired in that don't get updated anymore. Like there are versions of Linux that are out there in the wild that do not update anymore that have that.
And I bet a lot of those are going to be government.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Their stuff never.
Government updates nothing.
No. So that's going to be. It's a bad idea for truck drivers. See, I still have yet to hear a good argument for why we change the time all the time. 40 some years on this planet, nobody's been able to explain it to me in a way that matters.
So originally,
there's Y2K all over again.
It was thought to be. Why are all that? All of my settings are wrong. So originally it was thought that it would be like an energy saving thing, like because you'd use less electricity with the sun up later in the day.
But they've done a bunch of tests and that doesn't.
That has proved that isn't a thing.
Because there's still, no matter how you do it, there's still this many hours of darkness. Like it doesn't change how many hours of darkness there is.
As far as I can tell, we keep doing it because we've always done it. But there are some problems. Like, I mean, the simple fact is time zones are so arbitrary anyways.
Right. Well, like I live in a state that's technically in 2 different time zones. So there are times throughout the year where the entire state is in the same time zone and then times where it's not because the other time zone doesn't do daylight savings time.
I thought only Arizona didn't do daylight savings time.
No, I think pretty sure they don't. I know that like we swap back and forth. It's weird.
Oh, weird. Because like
it's for shopping?
Like there's some places.
That actually kind of makes sense.
Oh, that actually makes sense. I know. So they tried doing permanent daylight savings time back in the 70s. And the first time kids were trying to go to school at 8:30 in the morning when it was still dark out, everyone was just like, this does not work.
But they go to school in the dark now anyway. Like it's dark when I get up and go to work and there are kids out waiting for the bus.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Although I have seen a whole bunch of sleep scientists being like, hey, permanent daylight savings time is a really bad idea. Like it's better to go to permanent standard time.
See, like between those two arguments, I could give a shit. My whole thing is like, can I just stop fucking up my sleep cycle twice a year? Because that,
right.
Like, especially this year, for some reason, my body is not dealing well with this time switch.
So the thinking is that like, if the fair,
that's a good point.
Like the thinking comes down to if the like in permanent daylight savings time, like noon is never noon. So like we might be just perpetually jet lagged
Wait, noon is never noon.
because like the time of noon doesn't match up with like when noon would be. Like when like the sun is at its highest point, it's the wrong time.
But it for the
But
wrong
that's
time for what? Like, what are we doing at
right.
noon that matters? Like, it's
I
not
don't,
like
I
we
don't
all.
know.
It's not like the sun goes down and we all go to sleep, right?
Well, we should.
I mean, we should, but then we would be back on the 2 night sleep, right? Or two.
Apparently, that's better for us, though.
I mean, 100%,
Like-
it's better. But we wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, see, lunch. It interferes with everyone's lunch.
We're jet lagged because our lunch is not happening when the sun is at its highest peak in the sky.
My main problem with it is like this isn't something that like we're doing because it's a good idea. We're doing it because it scores the politicians points.
You know what?
Like,
I don't care who gets the points. Just let me stop changing clocks twice a year. I've been saying it my whole life. Let them have their points on this one. I'm down. I'm down.
I don't know. I just don't know. I gotta get on one of these calls with y'all sometime.
We should figure out a way to do
Yeah.
calls.
Probably wouldn't be too hard. I don't know.
Dude, us in audio,
The
are
way
you
our
seriously
the
going to
way our audio issues are, yeah, you're not wrong. The way that we just every single stream, we're like up to the moment we hit go, we're troubleshooting something. I have to reboot every half hour.
The funniest part is that, like, if we weren't audio nerds, it would be so much easier. Like, it's
Right.
all of this extra crap that makes it more difficult.
Well, I know a lot of my issues. I mean, one, my computer is dying.
It is. You definitely need, like, it's about time, buddy.
I need a new computer. But the other side of it, like I have this thing with probably the worst drivers in existence that is running my audio.
I mean, that's fair, too. It is. Their drivers are dog shit. They always have been.
They have always been awful.
Which is just, it boggles my mind because they have amazing software developers. That software is
Right.
the only reason to have the hardware.
Like I have this software running that is it has a gate, a de-esser, a preamp sim, a compressor, and a reverb, and it is pulling so little CPU that I can't even like find it in my there we go. It is pulling 0.5% of my CPU usage.
That's crazy.
Like Process Explorer is pulling more CPU than Pod Farm is.
It's an amazing piece of software.
But they can't write drivers
No.
for anything.
It just boggles my mind that, like,
But
their software is so good and their drivers
The-
are so bad.
the Line 6 drivers aren't as bad as M Audio drivers used to be, though.
Well-
do you remember? Did you ever use any M Audio gear? Ugh.
We don't want to talk that it's not. It's not. It is a darkness in the history of audio production. M Audio in like the late 90s, early 2000s. They made great equipment. They made great hardware. But like there were underground groups of people putting together third-party drivers because their drivers were so bad it was like bricking systems and stuff. So dumb.
Ugh.
So dumb.
Like you would just. It would be a crapshoot if you would boot up your computer and it would just immediately lock up, or if it would work.
I need to get a big audio. I don't know. I need a lot of stuff, and I keep buying things, and I shouldn't. I shouldn't be buying things, but I do because of dopamine. I finally got my leather jacket today.
Oh, nice. Does it fit?
It does. This one actually fits, finally.
That's good.
That was a whole thing. But I managed to get the upgraded version of the jacket, the long. It's an inch longer in the sleeves and in the body. Because when I put my arms out, like, the sleeves on it were here. It was awful. So I got the long one. It was usually, just in time for spring. I know, right?
Yeah.
That totally derailed me because I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, I just get it right as the weather breaks. Like, of course I would. That's my that's luck in life.
Yeah. That is literally how it works.
Yes. But I got the upgraded one, which is usually like $100 and some more than the original one, and I got it for $20.
Oh,
because they just happened to be moving warehouses and having a big warehouse sale. So I got a whole bunch of money off, which is dope.
I just spent like $200 on books because I got syllabuses for my classes that I'm taking, for my doctor classes.
Lord, you're actually like, I figured it would be one of those things that like 2 years from now you'd be like, oh yeah, one of these days. But you're doing it.
It's actually happening. My first classes are in June.
That's crazy.
But it was like, I had a moment of panic because I misread the syllabus and I thought I had to write a 7,000 to 10,000 word paper.
Yes.
You have to write. It was actually 700 to 1,000, which is like
that's a little different.
That's a sermon. That's fine. I could do that in like a Tuesday morning. But yeah, I just like had that moment of panic. But then imposter syndrome kicked in, and it's like all of those words, and I feel so bad for Mrs. Pastor because she wants to help, she wants to like tell me that like the imposter is an idiot and needs to shut up.
It never works though.
Well, and I'm like, hon, you know how when you're having a panic attack, and you know how when somebody says calm down, it just makes it worse. Like it's that.
Yeah. Like the imposter syndrome is a worm. It's a worm on a hook, and there's no getting it out. You just have to like breathe through it or something. I don't know.
Right. Like there's not really a thing. You just like have to pretend the voice isn't real.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's one person who said that, man, it might have been on TikTok or a meme or something that I saw that was like, how did it word it? It worded it in a way that was like, okay, so that's like using your imposter syndrome to make your imposter syndrome sound dumb. Like,
oh yeah.
So like you're usually having imposter syndrome about like a job or something. Like that's my thing. It's like programming. Horrible imposter syndrome every day, constantly, all day. And then it's like saying like you think you're special enough that you would have this job and nobody noticed. Like you think you're that good that nobody would have noticed until now. Like really, really? Okay. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a fraud every day. Every day.
Yeah, I have weird moments. Like it'll be, so there's like when I'm actively doing the thing, I'm like, yeah, I got this. I know what I'm doing. But it's when I stop doing the thing and I have like a minute to breathe, when I'm like anticipating doing a thing, that's when it starts to be a problem.
And see, for me with the programming stuff, you can't really throw anything at me anymore that I can't figure out how to do. But I look at my code afterwards and I'm like, well, this is like the dumb little kid way to do this. Like there's got to be a cleaner, more like advanced way to do this. And I'm doing it like the hacky fucking 15-year-old programmer way. Like, but no, I guess not. Too tall. What is shaking, man? Watching from Sin City.
Boise?
Boise. Have fun, dinner
Hi,
cakes.
dinner cakes.
How are you doing?
Yeah,
Too tall? Too tall.
My thing is always that, like, especially when it comes to things that like if I'm like presenting to somebody or like somebody else in my profession wants my opinion on something, it's like, why do they want to know what you think? Like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know anything.
You don't know what's going on. I know it's you. What are you doing in Vegas, man? Or are you in Boise? I'm hoping to. I need to get Dad to tell me when to take off at work. Because I should probably let them know that I'm not going to be there.
The solution is obviously to make sure that if you're there, you do the name game with him, because you have to. His name's Chuck.
Chuck, Bobuck, Banana Fana, Fofuck. Oh, Lord. I have a friend out in California who, for years, I've been trying to talk into coming out on his motorcycle and doing the Bourbon Trail some summer.
Oh, okay.
And hitting all of the distilleries. And it just never works out. Like, what am I doing? There's always something that happens that keeps it from happening. And then I stopped drinking last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now him and a bunch of his friends are coming out in July.
Right. When
to do the
now that you're like,
and I'm like,
what?
okay.
But your gout's been a lot better, right?
It has. I mean,
so
it's just like, it's been over a year and I just don't really have, like, there's no drive in me to drink and be hungover and all that. Like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Losing my ass. Janelle and I came down for a long weekend. Nice. Very nice.
To Boise.
To Boise, Idaho.
Went down to Boise.
Devil went down to Boise. He's looking for a soul to steal.
Can you imagine the devil in Boise?
Yes, I can imagine the devil in Boise.
Right. We've all seen Idaho.
I guess technically the devil's probably in Coeur d'Alene. So, like,
oh, man, speaking of the devil doing things, have you heard about the drama with Disney and this high school drill team?
No.
Oh, do I have an article to read to you?
Imposter syndrome.
So, Disney.
Well done, Reaper.
Yes, well done, Reaper. I've been choosing to ignore that, but it is well done. Disney is distancing itself from a live performance by Port Neches Groves High School on Tuesday at the Magic Kingdom Park. The band, along with the dance team, performed the school song Cherokee and shouted, "Scalp 'em!"
Oh, God.
as they traditionally do during performances. However, they were not wearing the headdresses that typically accompany their uniforms.
That's at least
which many in the community took to social media to point out.
It's fine because they weren't wearing their headdresses. It's okay.
No. People from the school were pointing out how awful it is that they couldn't wear their headdresses that honor Indians, of course. So this is at Disney, right? So like Disney vetted whatever it was that they were fixing to do and told them they couldn't wear the headdresses, but yelling "Scalp 'em," that was okay.
I mean,
and they were doing that, like, you know, that thing that like that drum beat that is the racist Indian drum beat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were doing that too. Like, so it was bad.
I mean, we're talking about
And-
Disney though. They never have figured out the whole Pocahontas thing. Like they still haven't.
true.
They still haven't talked about the fact that they have a movie. They have a movie where they portray Pocahontas as like an adult woman. She was 14 years old. 14 years old.
I didn't know she was that old. Pocahontas.
It's just. But yeah.
I mean, she died at 20.
Well, did you miss? You did miss the move to YouTube. Welcome.
Oh yeah, we're on YouTube.
We're doing this
Hi.
now. We're streaming poorly over on this platform for a while.
Yeah, we got tired of streaming poorly over on Twitch, so now we're streaming poorly on YouTube.
It's great. It's amazing.
We're good at this.
Absolutely. That's why I stuck my finger right in my freshly painted fingernail.
Oh no,
You're mostly
that's good.
You're mostly dead. That's not good. Don't be dead.
Well, but you're mostly dead though, so that means Miracle Max can bring you back.
You have to put the chocolate thing in your mouth, right? And
Yeah.
then push it down your throat.
And then wait half an hour.
Yes. You'll be fine. Your legs won't work for a while though. Your friends will have to drag you around.
But that'll be all right. Like you'll be able to stand for just long enough to issue someone instructions to the pain.
Yes. Yes. So you'll be all right. It'll still look good on film.
Yeah,
That's all that really matters, right?
that's all that really matters. As long as it looks good on film.
I was trying to think if there was. I feel like there was so much stuff that I wanted to talk to you about. Oh, speaking of, there we go. So, the whole Chelsea Hart thing.
Oh yeah,
Wow,
that's gone places.
That went completely off the rails.
Off all the rails.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even. Like, so when it started, I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, airing this kind of drama on TikTok is a little strange.
But then,
But whatever. People process
Yep.
stuff in different ways. But then it just kept getting worse. And worse.
So much
And worse. And
And now
now
I don't know what about what.
well, now both of them stopped posting and have deleted everything related to that.
Oh gosh.
And I guess she was posting stuff to just her mutuals, and people were saving it, and
Oh.
it did not end well for either of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I did get sucked into the kind of TikTok drama that I was okay with getting sucked into.
Ooh, what's that?
Because apparently singer Sower of Baby Runs for President fame
Okay, I don't know who that is.
has a my audio. Oh, back.
There you go.
What just happened?
Your shit is dying, bro.
That was weird. Oh, dude, I don't remember. So one creator accused another creator, Kavatica, of being a million spiders in a skin suit.
Oh.
And then, so that was the drama I got sucked into.
How do you even prove that you're not a million spiders in a skin suit?
Exactly. That exactly.
Okay. I mean,
And that was, yeah.
I mean, I feel like it would be really easy to prove that you are, but
Yep.
really difficult to
Absolutely.
prove that you're not.
Yep. I mean, it's always very difficult to prove a negative.
True. I think you, sir, are 3 penguins in a trench coat.
I mean, I could very well be. I can't prove otherwise.
See? And
I mean,
yep.
I'm fairly sure I'm not wearing a trench coat.
But
but
if you were
again-
three penguins in a trench coat, that's what you would look like. If you took the trench coat off, you would just be three penguins. Three penguins. Right. It's a pastor-shaped trench coat.
Pastor-shaped trench coat. That's why my collar goes over my beard.
Exactly, because of the weird skin suit that the penguins are wearing.
Skin suit. Exactly. Makes perfect sense.
No, that all tracks. 100%.
Stop. Why do you force me to be top chat? I want it to be live chat.
Oh, did it change? Oh, mine's on top
every time
chat too.
Every time it changes the thinger, it goes back to.
And then you change it, and it says, "Welcome to the chat."
Yeah.
Like I've been here the whole
time.
Your
privacy.
Don't give anyone your information. Okay.
Yep. Never put your password out in chat.
Okay.
I'm typing my password.
Do you know who Sweet Anita is?
It is not. Password 123.
It's not going to let you enter that now. Do you know who Sweet Anita is?
I don't.
She is a Twitch streamer that has... there it is. It is password 123. Has the thing where she cusses and stuff.
Oh,
what is that called?
Okay. Tourette's?
Tourette's, yes. And she has these ticks, and she ticked her Twitch password.
Oh, really?
Her Twitch was literally, want to know my password? And then she told her password, and it was hilarious.
Oh, no.
And then also, she gave an award away at an awards ceremony. And she started off her, presentation as, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sweet Anita. And I'm not going to explain to you why I'm going to be cussing at you for the next few minutes. And she didn't. And it was hilarious because she was ticking the whole time. It was great.
That's fantastic. I was watching a TikTok threw a comedian at me, which it does sometimes, not as often anymore. But it was somebody who had a lot of very shaky sorts of tics. Like his hand shakes and things like that. And somebody from the audience said something about how he probably can't get girls. And he just looks at the guy who yelled at him. And I'm like, no, I do all right. There's something about having a built-in vibrator.
That's fair.
Yeah, so well played, Mr. Comedian, dude.
I don't think we've ever really talked about the fact that maybe we have. I think about it all the time. TikTok has an amazing algorithm on the For You page, right? It's really good. Really, really good. Unless it's a live video. The live videos, it's just random people.
I never see lives. I see lives on my following, but not on my For You page.
See, I see lives on my following, but maybe 3-4 times a week, it'll throw a live at me on my For You page. And it'll be a redneck dude with a Confederate flag behind him bitching about the libtards. And I'm like, why? Why?
My favorite thing in all the land, when I hear youth pastors especially talking about how TikTok is just half naked girls dancing, and I just think your TikTok's algorithm is so good.
You're telling on yourself. You are telling on yourself, sir. Ooh.
It took me precisely a week for TikTok to think I was a lesbian with ADHD.
Yep. I am now, by the way, I have crossed over. I think I'm still a lesbian with ADHD, but now I believe I am a black lesbian with ADHD.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool. I love it when it gets the algorithm wrong because I get to see a lot of cool content.
Right. I ended up on black anti-colonial TikTok for a while.
Interesting.
That was a nice place to be.
Interesting.
And non-Americans.
Oh.
Which was even better.
Huh.
A couple Africans, a couple folk from the Caribbean. But there's one dude that just loved cussing people out when they made fun of his accent. And I'm just like, and he's just like, what? Like, why do you have a problem with my accent? Like, I speak better English than you.
I there was what was it? There's some other side of TikTok that I am pretty firmly at this point wedged into there's a whole like side of TikTok that is white guys trying to unpack like racism and sexism, but like without like actually doing like good work, not doing like teach me the good, but they're like asking questions and trying to start conversations and stuff. And it's been, it's exactly what you would expect. It's enlightening and disturbing at the same time. Equal levels of horrifying and enlightening. Yeah.
Recently I've gotten to armed communist TikTok.
Oh yeah, I've been on there for a while.
That's not a surprising place for me to have ended up.
No, not really. Not really at all. Do you follow the woman with the clothing store? I talk about her to everybody. I think everyone should be following her. She has a clothing brand.
Send me one of her videos. Oh, is it the Bible verse one?
No.
She's somebody. Yeah.
This is
send me one of hers.
She has a clothing company that she's had for 15 years or something. And she runs it. She technically owns it, but it is run as like a communist collective. Like everybody, they do profit sharing, equal profit sharing.
I've heard about her.
Yeah. And people are constantly asking her questions about like, can you explain this about communism? She's like, sure. She like breaks it all down in like super easy to consume little chunks. It's amazing. Nice. And I'm pretty sure it is fully making me a communist now.
Yeah. You were already mostly there.
Yeah, I mean, I really was. I knew I was left of center. I don't think I knew how left of center I was.
Yeah, that's been the most. So there's a couple things that I've been noticing, like among people like our age, especially people our age that like grew up churchy and paid attention. Because like there's a couple things that have been happening that are really should be totally expected, but are apparently a surprise to everyone. So like we grew up watching cartoons that all had moral messages like take care of the planet, be nice to people, don't be racist. And now everyone's surprised that we're growing up having listened to those messages.
And actually like absorbing them and going, you know what? We shouldn't be racist.
Yeah. And then like on the churchy side of things, like it was a whole thing to like, this is a chosen generation who's going to bring revival to the church and is going to do powerful things for Jesus. And then they like realize that they're supposed to love their neighbor as themselves. They're supposed to support the poor. They're supposed because that's what Jesus says to do. And everyone's surprised. Yeah. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen here?
I saw a TikTok from a girl with autism. She was talking about things that are difficult to process when you have autism, just things that like in culture. And she said one of the hardest things that I will never be able to completely understand is that people tell you this is what you should do. You should be nice to people. You should treat people like this. You should do all of these things. And then they do the exact opposite and think that you're weird when you do the thing that they told you to do.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, it is a little odd.
Yep. So there's for summer camp a couple of years, there was a kid who had Down syndrome. Down syndrome? there's a way to say it wrong, and I can never remember which one's wrong. But so because of this, one of the ways that manifested was he did not do metaphor.
Oh yeah.
Just not at all. None of it. So like he would hear things like give up such and such for Jesus, like, and give up this thing that you love for Jesus. And he's like, do I have to give up my dog?
Like, I love my dog.
But it got me thinking, like, how much stuff do we just not explain well because we just assume that folk know what we're talking about? Like, that's why I try to be really careful to like not use words like sin or salvation or justification, because no one knows what those words mean.
Right.
But if I say things like harming others, we can wrap our brains around that.
Right. It's a little easier. It's a little easier to understand when it's easy
when
words.
It's not the like churchy language.
Yeah. Let's speak poetically. No. Let's just explain the thing.
Yeah, let's just say the thing, even if it makes us uncomfortable to say the thing.
I ended up for a brief moment on the autism talk.
Oh, uh-huh.
And there's a very large group of autistic people who firmly believe that autism is the next evolution of humanity. That the way that they process the world around them is better than the way that we process it. And they're like, explain to me why being forward and saying what you mean is a bad thing. And I'm like, no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're there. That's not wrong.
Right. Like, you're not wrong. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
There's something about like the dance of life. Holy torpedoes, scat man.
Holy torpedoes, scat man.
Like there's just something about that dance that we do in society that is
it's irritating.
Yeah.
So irritating.
Like I was talking about that in a sermon. It was either Sunday or the Sunday before, but like all the different ways that we go out of our way to like not tell someone that they're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
and then get more and more upset that they're not doing it right.
Yeah. And it causes them more stress because it's like, wait, am I doing something wrong? Because you just told me like 5 things that I'm doing right. Why are you upset with me when you just told me 5 things I'm doing right?
The duality of man, 2-step. Yeah. That's one of the things that my imposter syndrome freaks out about is what if I'm doing things wrong and everyone's afraid to tell me? Like everyone just expects that I'm going to figure it out on my own and I haven't because I'm an idiot. And I'm like, no, just tell me the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something. Yeah, it's just so weird. Like the ways that you just have, and dealing with volunteers is even worse, right? I ain't afraid to tell you when you're doing wrong.
We're glad to have you to keep us on track. But you've missed the parts where we were doing everything wrong at the beginning and nothing worked correctly.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Like, how long have we been doing this and how much money have we made on it? Like,
I mean, it's fair.
I mean, like, we've been doing this a really long time.
We have. There's definitely
and I'm pretty sure we're still solidly in the negative.
Oh yeah. There's definitely been more money put into this than has been made. Oh, like that's not even,
yeah.
Like my brain started doing math and I'm like, Jesus Christ. No. That's not. I had to put Twitch on my taxes though. That was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
1099. Technically the first 1099 I've ever done.
Really? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got the 1099 stuff a lot, actually.
I need to do it more.
Of course, for a long time, like a lot of my income was like, it was one of those things where like it didn't need to be documented on my end, but the people who were paying me were documenting it on their end. So I still like, you couldn't do anything and just like pretend you didn't get paid for stuff
Right.
because they were documenting it.
That's kind of what I figured with like Twitch. I was like, they're absolutely going to tell the government that they gave me money. Doesn't matter how much
Yeah.
it is. They're going
Yep.
to tell the government.
I think I had when I still had my album out before I got to before I made so little money on it that I'm not paying. I wasn't paying to keep it up anymore. I had to file a 1099 from DistroKid for like $13,
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, but I'm like they absolutely told the government about that $13.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to pay to play. You got to play to get paid. You got to pay to pretend to play to get paid. To get players to pay to play. The
Yeah, payola.
payola. The pay.
Yes, it's payola.
You got to pay all of the Ola. Is
Okay, so that makes me think of something. So we really like however you pronounce her last name, the Numb Little Bug singer.
Oh yeah, and behold,
We like her, right?
Behold.
Do you know what I have not heard about her? And I don't know if I'm just not paying attention, but I haven't seen the industry plant narrative around her.
Mm-mm.
When she like very obviously is signed to a major
I
and
think
has been this entire time.
I think it's because it hasn't popped yet. It is popping
Oh,
right
maybe.
now. So the people who are like following her are people who were following her 6 months ago when she was nobody.
Oh, okay.
Behold, yeah, pretty much. Behold,
Yeah.
behold.
It's it's like behold, behold.
It is super interesting watching all that happen though, because it
It
literally
is.
was like I started following her because she had another song that went kind of like mini viral before that.
And it was good. Like it was a
Yeah.
solid song. Like
And-
not as speaking to an entire generation as Numb Little Bug is.
right. Like that song is such a perfect representation of like every person I know.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that
Absolutely.
song is for everyone. We are all that Numb Little Bug right now. But yeah, so I saw when she first posted the quick little TikTok with like just the verse for Numb Little Bug, and everyone was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
you've got to do the whole thing," and she was like, "Okay." And then did the
Right.
long version, and people were like, "You've got to release this," and she was like, "Okay." And then here we are.
Right. Well, and you saw I think you saw the one not too long ago where she's like, I never thought that I would, like, my name would be in a list with like,
Right? With like
Cardi B.
Dua Lipa, like how am
Yeah.
how am I in this list of these names I don't understand? It's so good. I want to talk about Pastor's obsession
okay,
with
so-
Nightcore.
so here's what happened there.
What
Right. So,
happened?
so because of TikTok, I'm hearing all of these songs that like, they're obviously not right. Right. Like there's no low end. Like they're way too high. Like they sound like they are just being sped up and like, but they're good songs. So I ended up like getting lost in like Nightcore land because I liked the songs, and then I wanted to find out like what all the actual songs were to hear them like not
For
sped up.
realsies.
Yeah. So I ended up in this like weird loop of like anime Nightcore land so that I could find the songs that they sped up to make the Nightcore.
Sure. We all know it's because it's the background music to the hentai that you watch. The hentai compilations all have Nightcore.
Do they
Isn't it?
really?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody's into tentacles. Wait, there's a dance?
Oh man.
Oh, it's the
yeah.
like. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And we're gonna need to see that on TikTok, sir.
that
In your outfit,
I
dude, that would go viral in a hot minute.
I have been forbidden from posting anything to TikTok.
By who?
I have been told by a person who has authority over my life to not post on TikTok
Why though?
because that crosses a line.
Really?
I don't know what line it is, but that crosses a line. That's too much.
I want to
can't
know.
post on TikTok.
I want to know what that line is. What is it? Like, this is okay,
Yeah, this is fine.
but posting
The Pastor Rico's Parish stuff is fine.
but
But
15
posting on
second.
TikTok, that's too much.
Even if okay, what if
I
you
ain't
were
gonna lie,
doing
I'm
it?
okay with it because that means less work.
I mean, that's fair.
But like, but yeah, I was told that I cannot post anything on TikTok.
What if you were doing it to promote Pastor Rico's Parish?
Nope, I cannot post on TikTok. YouTube Shorts might be okay. Haven't asked, but definitely can't do TikTok.
That's weird. I find that to be odd. I would like to know the thought process behind
You
that.
you can gladly ask the person with authority over my life, but I'm on board with being told I can't post on
I
TikTok.
mean, that's fair. I enjoyed posting on TikTok.
You still
should-
do occasionally.
Yeah.
I liked your I liked your people think I'm younger than I am post. That was fun.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people doing it and I was like, no, that's fair. Like, I hear that a lot. I wish I should have shaved before because it's usually when I shave, people are like, what? What if you were a Make-A-Wish kid and your wish was to post to TikTok?
I mean, for a Make-A-Wish kid, sure. Like I would post a kid. Like obviously, I'm not going to turn down a Make-A-Wish kid. Like,
I was thinking that
I have a soul.
you were the Make-A-Wish kid is what I was thinking.
Oh.
And I was like, it's probably too late for you to ever be a Make-A-Wish kid.
So speaking of shaving, I think I found a haircut person that works around here. Like, so I went to one that like they're just always booked. And so, but I got in there. I went to them because they have a really punny name. So they're on Jefferson Street, and their name is Jefferson Hairplane. Like,
Oh my
it's a great pun, right?
Jesus Christ.
But you can't get an appointment with them, and they do a good job. Like they did well. I was pleased with the haircut, but just they're cash only, and you can't get an appointment to save your life. So I went down the street. There was I'm just like, I need to get a haircut, and there's a place down the street from the church. I'm just gonna walk down there and be like, hey, can I get an appointment? Like, I just need a haircut and a beard trim. And they're like, oh yeah, how's tomorrow? I'm like, all right, sure. And so I'm putting it in my phone because they're like, do you need a card? It's like, no, I'll just put it in my phone. Like, it's fine. And then like, hey, can I just write down like who am I getting the haircut from so that like when I come in, I can be like, I have an appointment with so and so. So plug it in. It's some guy named, it's the guy haircutter that's at this place. And I go in, like I'm talking to him, and it's fine. Like it's a haircut. Like the talking is good, the haircut's good, and then he grabs the lather, and I'm like, okay. And then he gets the straight razor. Have you had the straight razor like
No.
back of the neck cleanup?
No.
It is life changing. Like once you've had a haircut with the straight razor shave, you will never like be able to just have a normal haircut again.
I mean, I've heard good things. See, even women do it under the guise that they're doing healthy things to their skin, but they get their entire face is straight razor.
Oh yeah,
Dermaplaning or something.
yeah.
He did.
It was a hairstylist, not a tailor. He didn't do the like. Yeah,
He didn't cup your balls for you?
there's none of that.
Man, what a ripoff.
I know. You paid extra for it. You don't even get it. But yeah, like I think I found like a haircutter person. So I'm like,
Nice.
okay, that's down. Now I just need to find like a dentist and a doctor and all of those other things that you don't think about having to like find new ones of when you move somewhere.
So awful. It's so hard too. Because
Yeah.
it's always hit, like, especially like doctors and stuff, you never know. Like going into a
Right.
dentist, you never know. Like, am I going to leave this place and never want to step foot in this building
Well,
again?
and it's always so hard because like so many people just hate the dentist anyways. That like you don't know if they don't like going to the dentist because they don't like their dentist or
Right.
because like they just hate going to the dentist.
Yeah. Like when I had the root canal, it blew my mind. It was the most painless experience I've ever had.
Huh.
The dude was super nice. It took all of 20 minutes or something. It was so fast.
nice.
Didn't feel a thing. I was like, are you kidding me? That was a root canal? Because I've always heard horrible things. And he's like, yeah, we get a bad
Right.
rep for some reason. But this is what we do. I was like, I am only ever coming here.
No, so like, and I really liked my last dentist, which makes it even harder because like
Yeah.
he was really good. He's like he obviously just like wrote down like everything about you in his chart so that like when you came back, it seemed like he remembered everything.
How are the kids,
And, like-
Jane and Fonda?
Right, exactly. But the one thing that was annoying about my last dentist, he had this like ultrasonic cleaner thing, which worked awesome on the teeth, right? Like it doesn't have all the scraping. It just like knocks everything out with the ultrasonics, but it gets to like back here and it resonates your ear bones. So you get this like 12K piercing, just absolutely piercing noise in your eardrums. And I'm just like, it's like, does that hurt? Like, no, not the mouth. It hurts the ear.
Not the part that you're worried about.
Right.
It's
Like
hurting
it
other
doesn't,
things.
what you're doing doesn't hurt. It's the machine.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, I need to go. I need to set up an appointment with my dentist again. Now that I have real boy, big boy insurance.
Oh yeah.
We went on a non-base barbecue once with civilian workers. Once a lady in the middle of a haircut asked my friend, "Do you think baby lions cry?" Do you think baby lions cry?
I don't know what to do with that.
I don't either. Do I think adult lions cry? Like, why are they crying? Why are they crying? I'm very confused. What depends.
And also,
what did
that
you do
sounds
to
like
make
it
them
might
sad?
be like, that might be a Prince song though.
Do you think
Like I
baby
could hear that
lions
being
cry?
a Prince lyric.
That's
You think
fair.
Baby lions cry. It's the sequel to When Doves Cry.
Do you think baby lions cry? In the purple rain, down in Africa.
That wasn't him.
I was just figuring like
That last one wasn't him.
No, could have swore it was him. There's a bird right outside the window. I'm surprised she's not freaking out.
We've started putting out a bird feeder outside. So we've got this window in our living room that the dog can look out. But like we're on a quiet street, so there's not a lot happening when we're not home. So we started putting out a bird feeder, and that's been a lot of fun.
Birds are fun. They're weird animals.
Yeah.
We had a whole
Home-based barbershops in Korea still had the girls in the way too short skirts and a chair that completely reclined on base.
weird.
Huh.
Some places are just like time bubbles.
Yeah.
And as a white guy, like put me in a time bubble. Yeah, I'd like
There
to
was
go back and see what the past looks like. Mainly because
There was a like
I'm a white guy.
yeah. In Utah, there was this one like haircut place. It was like great clips or like supercuts, like that level of haircut, but also like all the girls were in bikinis
Weird.
because apparently like that was just their thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but like, do you really is that where you want to get your haircut?
Yeah. There was a
Is
place.
is going to the haircut such a miserable experience for you that like You need that motivation to go.
It's like there was a place in Colorado growing up called Debbie Does Donuts that was a topless donut joint.
I mean, it's a shtick.
It is, but like out of all the places to get the donuts, like the donuts aren't going to be good.
Well, I mean,
And like, what are the health ramifications?
but I feel like, so I feel like if you're gonna do a topless donut shop, you have to have the best donuts in town.
They weren't.
It's
Very
like when
good.
people, because it's like when people were always like, I don't go to Hooters for the Hooters, I go for the wings.
Right. Okay,
And like,
Bob.
and like supposedly the wings were actually all right. Like I don't really like buffalo wings, so I didn't really care.
Dude,
But
their
like,
food is mediocre. It's always been
right.
mediocre. It will always be mediocre.
But you need to have at least like something that's good enough that it's believable, even though everyone knows that's not why you're going there. You know what I mean?
I guess. Bikini baristas. Yeah, that was a big thing for. That's still kind of a thing, isn't it? Which that just seems weird. I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
Yeah.
I guess the whole like let's. It's always bothered me though. Like strip clubs, I can't. The whole idea of like going into a strip club weirds me out.
I've never been to a strip club, but I've never really like wanted to.
Yeah,
I just don't. Yeah.
it's just not there.
I think though there's some aspect of it. It's like it's like a place to go for the people who think that their servers at restaurants are always hitting on them.
Yeah.
Like it's like the next step.
I guess that's the problem. Is I'd worked in food too much to know. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just trying to get paid, bro.
Right. Like they don't like you. They're being nice because it's their job.
It's just weird to me. This is very weird.
Yeah.
I've been to a strip
I've
club
been
once.
to a strip club once.
Once, and that was enough. Yeah, I'd had strippers. I know strippers. There's one that lived on our living room floor for a while, and like hearing her talk about work with her work buddies was like, okay, I'm never stepping foot in a place like that. Those women hate those men.
Of course.
They think they are disgusting, and I mean that's totally fair because they're strip club people, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's all just weird. I mean, I'm not going to fault anybody for getting paid.
No,
but,
hell no. Those girls make bank. Bank.
Like yeah, it's just not something that I've ever had any interest in.
No. It's just and that thing of like sexualizing stuff that's not sexual, like getting coffee. Like I don't need.
Have you seen on TikTok? There's this. It's this girl who's fluent in English and Japanese, and like most of her channel is about like kind of how when you speak different languages your voice changes. Like you speak in a different register. And apparently it's a thing that people do. Like people who are multilingual have also noticed that they speak different languages in different voices.
I saw there was a viral thing going around in like Latino TikTok, and I managed to catch one of those, and it was a woman saying, which one of your voices is higher and which one is lower? I'm going to take a wild guess that your English voice is lower. And it was this dude, and he was like, no, that's not true. And he said the same thing in English and Spanish, and his voice dropped. And he was like, holy shit.
But so she has a very high-pitched Japanese voice. And somebody was like, they started going off about how it's ooh and all this nonsense. And she's just like, like, are you really just sexualizing the way someone talks right now? Right. Like, is that a thing that you are actually doing? And two, like, it's not ooh, it's how I talk.
It's literally how I speak. I love watching the Scottish trying to weigh words. Now, there's a Scottish woman on there who literally just people say, "Hey, say this word," and she'll try to say it, and she can't. 90% of the time, she can't say the word. It's amazing watching her get frustrated trying to say simple words.
Weigh words. Like
Trying to weigh the words. It's hard to weigh words.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of guess how much words are going to weigh, but you never quite know until you do it.
Right. Like candy has a very high weight. It's like 3. Whereas like Humpalump is more like an 8. It feels like.
But sometimes you get surprising ones because like cake is light and fluffy, which you'd expect.
Right.
It's cake. But like you add pound to it, make it a pound cake, and all of a sudden that is like a 12.
It's true. It's because you've eaten pound cake and you know what it does to your body.
That's true.
Can't
Hey,
stay.
Barlazy.
This time I'm in Greeley, Colorado, going to drive wife and daughter back to Kansas City this weekend. I'll watch this later. Have a good stream, Satyr and Pastor, and everyone. See you Friday.
Oh.
We will be here Friday. Last week was a shit show. I apologize. I updated OBS like an idiot and it broke all the things. And I just did not, after a week of work, did not have it in me to give a shit. I was on the verge of not streaming anyway, and then that happened, and I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go play video games.
And I won't be here next Friday, but then we'll have the April Fool's Day stream together.
Lordy mercy.
I know. It'll be the same amount of chaos you always get.
Or will we?
And then I'll actually be back again because
Lord.
I won't be able to stream on Good Friday. I'll be a little busy.
That does sound like a busy day.
I mean, technically, I will be streaming on Good Friday.
Just not for us.
Just not here.
That's fair. Other people could probably go check your other stream out if they wanted to, right?
Yeah, it's incredibly easy to find.
I broke something right before stream. Like,
that was right before this stream. That everything broke.
That is
in the middle of this stream. Everything broke.
That is my calling card. Hey, I tried to fix something and now nothing works.
And with my computer dying, it makes it even better.
Your computer is like
it's been struggling for like
it's time, bro. It's time.
Well, I was fixing to buy a new computer.
Then you had to go and move.
Well, okay. So before the platypus, I had like basically saved up the money I needed to buy a new computer. Like I'd been saving, I oversaved for my taxes. And then like when I get the tax money back at the end of the year, like I put it all together and then I use that for things. And I was going to use, and I finally saved up the money, right? And then the platypus happened. And then a boat got stuck in the Suez Canal. And then things just like didn't get made for a while. And and I don't want to pay twice MSRP for a graphics card.
I mean, but you could literally build an entire computer and just swap that graphics card that you have until you get the ability to buy a new graphics card.
I have a GTX 970.
You're using it now. You could just keep using it.
Well, but see now it's like it's taken so long to get a new computer. I'm like, I may as well wait for the really good stuff comes out at the end of the year.
That's true. Oh yeah,
AMD's doing a whole new socket
on the year anniversary of that Evergreen boat getting stuck. Another one did. Idiots. I swear.
It had a really stupid name too, like Everford.
Yes, something like that. Just
what is it called? Ever Forward.
So dumb. So dumb. So dumb. So dumb. Ever G Ford.
All I can just think of is boats.
Boats. I'm on a boat.
Yep.
Buy from that one company that went belly up. Artesian Builds. You can get that one they were building for Asmongold.
Man, wasn't
What?
that a mess? That was a great find, Sang.
What was it? What happened?
Was that he posted the video on Discord? It's this guy who like they were doing a giveaway, um, and he would draw a name of somebody in their affiliate program, and then like look up their Social Blade numbers and be like, "No, you don't have enough followers. I'm picking another name."
Oh,
Yeah,
that's that
and like
doesn't.
the whole company like imploded around him, and now like didn't you say that like he was like the employees are trying to buy it out because they actually seem like they make good computers, just the owner was a lot.
Weird.
It's
Which channel is
where
it
on the
in?
Discord is it somewhere
Whoa.
I don't know. In general,
I call shenanigans. It's in your. It's in your other Discord that you're hiding from me.
it could be.
The employees wanted to
But if
buy
I
it out.
told you about that one, then you wouldn't know about it.
It's okay. I'm on another Discord now too with 4 people in it.
What? 4 people?
I actually have been wanting to just tell them to come over to ours because I
Where
can
did he?
delete it.
Where did he put that?
All we really do is play Wordle every day
No,
and post our Wordle scores.
I don't. I don't. The Wordle.
The company folded. He fired everyone. The state is investigating.
Oh, well, that's a good reaction.
That's
Where did you post that?
game.
Oh, here it is. It's in gaming on the 13th of March.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I thought it was
This man
gotcha.
just ended his whole career in record time.
PC builder that drew fury of small Twitch streamers shuts down. Blah 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 blah. Open to assistance / investment. Well, now I kind of want to watch this.
This company just
Oh, it's half
It
an
was a
hour
lot.
long.
Like, it was good.
Never mind.
Well, yeah, it's a saga.
I should see. That's. I was thinking I should put together. It would probably take too long, and it wouldn't make sense by the time I was done. But I should have started at the beginning, putting together a video of the whole Chelsea Lance thing.
Oh,
Maybe
man.
that's what the YouTube channel here could be: is me breaking down TikTok drama.
You breaking down TikTok drama.
Because it's like a whole thing, and it's hard. There's so much involved. I need some water.
Yeah,
Let's
take a
break all of the things.
I mean, it probably will if we're all being honest.
Probably will. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. While we're gone, wait, we need to put another poll in the thing. Let's do a poll.
Yeah, you can do a poll.
What is the poll gonna be? What? You and Pastor and Demon forming a band, but you guys get turned into cartoons, and we can relaunch kid video. Okay. What is your favorite? I'm just gonna there. What is your favorite? We'll be right back. Answer the question.
What is your favorite?
And the answers
All right,
are
well-
yes or no.
We'll be back in a little somethings.
We're back. Hello.
Oh, it's been a long time since we came back to a Satyr belch.
It has been a minute.
Oh wait, who? I forgot to vote. What is my favorite?
Yes or no?
Interesting.
My favorite is the smell of a forest after rainfall has washed away the blood of the previous night's cartoonishly obscene carnage and purges the earth of the fires that burned it, you know? Yeah, I mean, that's a good smell. It's odd that you would say that because... So I grew up next to a company called Montfort. They had a big processing facility. And Montfort is one of the largest meat processing plants. They do beef processing. Ooh. And every Wednesday... Like they kill and process cows and they drain all of the blood into the basement. And every Wednesday they burn the blood. And as you would drive by, it was this very specific smell of burning blood. And it's oddly one of my favorite smells. And I miss not being able to smell it. Because where do you smell burning blood? Like it's not a thing that you... have access to.
When I was in college, I drove by a Wonder Bread factory, and that smelled really good.
We have a Jif factory that I drive by every day, and you can smell them roasting peanuts.
Oh, I was gonna say like they make very wrong pronunciations.
Yes, they make Jifs and Gigabyte hard drives.
Gigabyte.
My favorite is that trick I do with my fingers. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, see how this works on YouTube. Well, I think I put him in timeout.
Oh,
I don't actually know.
We're going to get him banned on YouTube. Look, and I was just going to show him.
Oh, and it just did, it did the thing. It deleted all his messages.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
So how long did he time out for?
300 seconds.
Huh.
So 10 minutes? Is that 10 minutes? No. 5 minutes, right?
No, that's 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, and it deleted wow. It deleted everything he said the entire time. Holy crap.
5 minutes is a long time to delete someone or to mute someone.
No, but he can't post anything for 5 minutes, and then it deleted everything.
Look, I got a thing for it. What are they called?
I like
frame. I got a frame for it. Actually, Johnny got me the frame.
Oh.
Our side of the base had shit river on the border, rice paddies on the other, a puppy farm behind the back, 40, and a smell-ass pig farm across the airfield, but we didn't have to take a bus to go drink it. Mm-hmm. Everything has an upside. I want a t-shirt that says, "Why, yes, I am God." I need to make this shirt. Why have I not made this shirt yet?
I want one that says, "Ray, when someone asks if you're a god, you say yes."
Have you seen the new one?
No, I haven't seen the new one.
God, how have you not seen it yet? You need to see it. I don't care that you were moving. Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's really good.
Where can I watch it?
All of the places
Afterlife?
that you're willing to pay for it.
Oh. Yeah.
It's really good. There's a joke. The reason I thought of it is they do lots of callbacks to the first film, and there was a callback to that. And
Reaper should be allowed back in a minute.
Demon is in Discord chat. Ban him there too for aesthetic.
Do you go over to Discord?
And I have disappeared. I would say how excited I am to see the pic in the frame, but I can't say anything in chat. And the cross on the shirt is upside down. I did see that. I like it.
You should be back soon. You apparently were timed out for 300 seconds, and that was around 7:52 p.m.
I'm trying to show it without the giant. Look at this amazing picture. No, you can't see. But that looks good.
That looks really good.
I like it. Turned out amazing.
Yeah, just know that, Reaper, know that you were put in timeout because of what you said, and that's the reason.
I forgot what he said already.
You can look at it. I think it should show you.
It just says view delete. Oh, view deleted message. The last thing he said was, "Oh yeah, now I
like
remember."
I think that's a perfectly fair reason to put him in timeout for.
That's fair. It does make us have visuals. We've
That's
gone
soft.
soft. That's fair. It happens to the best of us.
I mean, why am I soft in the middle now when the rest of my life is so hard?
Soft outer crust. It's the opposite of hardcore. And we need emotional Viagra.
No.
If anybody,
apparently, no is your favorite.
yes, no is better, in my opinion.
By two votes to one, no is the favorite.
I didn't even get to vote, so I could have voted yes and made us break even.
Yeah.
Maybe next
Reaper,
time.
you should be back.
Come back, Reaper.
I think he's back.
He left.
I think it's been enough time now.
He got mad.
He's
at
gone forever.
He's like,
Oh,
fuck you
maybe.
guys. Finally, I'm out.
Finally have an excuse to never pay attention to you ever again.
I want to get really close to the microphone for some reason. My brain's like, you should get really close to the microphone.
Hold on. I should be able to if I do that, and I do that, and that.
Oh.
I can get rid of the
Oh,
microphone.
wow. It's just like.
and
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's all-
now welcome to National Public Radio.
Oh, I could-
listen to
I could drop my low end back in.
jazz.
There's, hello and welcome back to.
Actually, I think I probably need that.
There's even a timer on the post button to see how long till you could post again. Nice.
Actually, it might be more like this. With
Wow.
a little bit too much low mid, and compressed to all heck.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so bad.
Maybe that's it right there with the compressor, and yeah, that's smooth jazz.
Did
All
I
right,
come back to previous? Yes, you did. Hello and welcome back to Afternoons with Satyr, where we discuss slow piano melodies. It's weird how much of a difference that one little button makes.
Oh yeah. I was just hoping that you didn't end up doing something like where we talk about afternoon delight.
Afternoon delight. Whoa. I don't even know what else do we have to talk about. It feels like so much has happened that it's just exhausting to even
There's
think
too
about.
much. There's too much to talk about. And you usually have a list, but
Yeah, I
like
could check the list. I don't know if I put anything on it. Let's see. Maybe there is one thing I put on it. No, I didn't put anything on it.
because like yeah, like there is so much that
There's a lot.
I don't know.
I like these. I have a list in my to-do app that's just like weird thoughts that I have that don't really fit in any other category.
Okay.
So like one of them is music is painting with time. I heard that somewhere and was like, that's
Oh,
actually,
nice. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm down with that.
One of them was when Johnny was when he was taking sleeping pills. He would lay in bed at night, like as the pills were kicking in on Facebook, scrolling Facebook, and every now and then the pills would kick in before he put his phone down, and he would post weird shit. And one night, he posted this. This is what I woke up to the next day. We all broke free and sat around the caboose talking too much after a picnic with ants. Here it is already early in the morning. We thought he must be dead or asleep. Who's in control of this thing anyway? How do you get it to work? That's what I want to know. So I saved that because that's obviously amazing. And then the last one on there is it's so much more interesting to be kind. Did you see that Cap Did you see the mess with Capcom is in what? Did you see the mess that Capcom is in with Street Fighter? No. Let's find out.
Street Fighter V receives definitive update featuring cel-shaded visuals.
Yep.
Major balance adjustments.
Who is the Street Fighter 6 target audience?
Street Fighter 6 logo looks like $80 clip art.
I don't really.
I don't know mess of Capcom and Street Fighter.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
They've officially announced Street Fighter 6.
It looks like Street Fighter 6 may be geared toward a younger audience. Is that a thing?
The weird and rare version of Street Fighter 2?
Electric Boogaloo. They pretty much killed their own competitive Street Fighter? I mean...
Capcom angers FGC with Street Fighter license esports proposal? Capcom has found itself in the bad books of the competitive fighting game community after proposing an official licensing scheme that could potentially be applied to all Street Fighter 5 and 6 tournaments held anywhere on American soil, regardless of size. Capcom outlined its plans for the Street Fighter 5 community license agreement would require tournament organizers to apply for an official license in order to run a local or national tournament on the flagship fighter.
Interesting.
Apparently it's not the first time Capcom has tried something like that.
There's a whole... God, there's a lot of lawyer talk in that thing that they linked to. Oh, here's a thing. That and the logo is straight up clip art for Street Fighter 6. I didn't see the Street Fighter 6 one. The Street Fighter 5 one is just dumb looking.
It's not bad. It's not great.
Oh, it does. Is it just the SF with the 6? That is pretty. It's not very.
I mean,
good.
that's how logos are going these days. Like things are trending towards simple logos. Like, and I like it. Like I like simple logos.
It does look like it's just clip art, though. I mean, that is literally the simplest logo you could have done. Did you happen to see the lawsuit that Marilyn Manson dropped?
No.
So you know the whole thing about what's her butt.
I remember the whole thing. Yeah.
And like we were very angry at Manson.
Oh, they actually found the clip art it's from.
Oh.
Oops.
Oh yeah, it is literally. It is literally, and it's not even like they took it. It's like they copied it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
Oh wow.
That's pretty gross.
I mean, it's just different enough that like they wouldn't actually get sued about it, but yeah.
That's
like that is just barely different enough.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is how that works. Like,
wow, that's funny.
All right.
A AAA gaming studio, and that's
really surprised though.
No, not even remotely.
There was a dude I started following on YouTube. It ended up having a whole bunch of other interesting things, but one of the things that he did, he would like go to 90s games and hunt down where they got all their textures from.
Interesting.
And apparently in the 90s there was just this like collection of textures that you could buy like on a CD. And of course everybody used those same textures.
That makes sense. So
Kind of like that dude on TikTok that finds where TikTok sounds come from.
yeah, I like that. So Marilyn Manson hasn't said anything publicly since all of that happened. Nothing at all.
Smart.
Until a couple days ago. It's been about a week now. And he tweeted, let me read the actual tweet. It says, there will come a time when I can share more about the events of the past year. Until then, I'm going to let the facts speak for themselves. And it is a link to a PDF on a Google Drive that is him suing Rachel Evan Wood and her best friend. With receipts. It's got receipts in it. Basically saying that they conspired to make all of that up to destroy his career. And there's like... There's handwritten notes, there's text messages, there's all sorts of shit in there that makes it all super sketch all of a sudden. And it just so happens that it's right around the time that her documentary is about to be released.
Okay.
So it's a whole thing.
Okay, don't trust that source. Don't trust that source. Don't trust that source. Don't trust that. Like, wow, the only people that are talking about this are folk that I don't trust.
Yeah. I mean, here's literally, I will drop a link in the music. It's a link to literally...
So like the first news article that I found is an article from Jezebel, and I'm like,
no. No.
Yeah, like...
I think because
I cannot trust you to be any kind of objective.
Yeah, I think because there's not really anything to say yet. Other than Evan Rachel Wood and her friend are getting sued by Marilyn Manson. Like, that's all.
Right.
That's the news. I posted the PDF in the Discord though, and there is some interesting stuff in there. And I watched, there's a lawyer channel that I saw that was talking about like what exactly is happening in this gigantic piece of paperwork. And it's interesting. Like they pretended to be federal agents and sent letters out to a bunch of people.
Interesting.
Pretending to be the FBI. Like, I don't, it got...
Wow.
It's the whole... So, it's possible that nobody is a good person in this situation.
Why do people just have to... Why can't people just be people?
People are people.
Like,
so why should it be? Yeah. I'm not going to go so far as to say that, Manson didn't do anything and he's a great person now. Like, no.
Right.
I still think he did bad shit, but it's possible that the people pointing are standing in glass houses. So, there's that.
Why does everything always have to be?
It's like it's bad, and then you're like, okay, and you start to deal with the bad, and then it gets worse. And you're like, why did it have to get worse?
I have so many questions all the time.
It was like the whole Chelsea Hart thing again, coming up once again.
Right.
Like it started and you're like, oh, this is bad. There are bad people on this app who are pretending to be good people. And then it just keeps unfolding.
And then you find out that those bad people are also like the bad people are bad people, and the people of the bad are the people who are bad people. Bad.
It's so bad too because both of those creators, both of those creators were doing good things. And that sucks. Because now everything they've ever done is dog shit.
Yeah.
Burn it to the ground. Burn it all to the ground.
Can we just... I don't know. I don't even know. There's no words on it.
There's no... Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Wait, we already are.
Oh, yeah, we are. Shit.
And now Sting to play us out.
To play us out? What does that mean, to play us out?
Was it just a fantastic rant?
I hate it. We watched the movie about Fox News.
Oh.
Shit, what's it called? Bombshell. That is worth watching. Holy shit. That whole place is fucked up.
I mean...
There will come a day that someone will go after one of the Untouchables. They already went after Bob Ross.
So Mr. Rogers has managed to weather pretty much everything.
He will, because he is good people.
He's, like, as far as everyone can tell, like, Mr. Rogers is actually as squeaky clean as he appears to be. Bob Ross apparently was actually a massive jerk off camera.
Well, he was a womanizer.
But there's also, like, there's this whole thing between, like, his estate and, like, his manager. Like, his kids and his manager are in this huge fight. So there's a lot of, like, he said, she said between them.
There's that documentary.
Yeah. But the documentary was, like, half of them saying that the other half. Yeah. It's bad.
It's a whole mess. But just suffice it to say, don't buy anything that says Bob Ross on it. Because that money is going to awful people who are doing awful things. While his son, who he taught to paint and who was supposed to take over his whole empire, gets nothing.
Right. But it's also not clear, like, where his son lands in all of this either.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the whole, because he was the one that happened to put out the documentary, so of course he's going to make himself look the best.
I mean, that's fair.
Right. Which is why I loved when, like, in the aftermath of all the Fire Festival stuff, I loved that there were two documentaries that dropped at the exact same time. And if you watch them back to back, you kind of are like, okay, everyone's awful in this situation.
Everyone is a horrible human.
Also, so funny thing about Mr. Rogers, though, the seminary that I am going to be studying at is where Mr. Rogers went.
So wait, are you going to be like a new Mr. Rogers? That would be dope.
That would be dope, but I don't think I'm that awesome of a human being.
I mean, you could be like a mini Rogers.
Mini Rogers.
Yeah.
They actually have in their library, they have like a kids section that is entirely Mr. Rogers themed.
Weird.
It's really cool.
Weird.
Well, because like if that dude went there, like went to your school, you're good. Like, of all the people to be proud of.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, he made a senator cry. Like, he made a senator feel so many feels that he cried because of his testimony.
To be fair, that senator deserved to feel bad.
Well, yes, he did.
I always giggle at the word seminary. I do too. I think it's funny.
That's fair.
Because I always imagine that it's like it is an area of semen, like it is a seminary. It is a place where the semen is produced or something.
Usually, when it gets mispronounced as cemetery.
Cemetery.
So that also is good for laughs.
We're
I graduated from cemetery. Or I went to the cemetery I had class in the cemetery the other day.
Learn a lot down at the old cemetery.
I mean, a lot of people have had interesting life experiences at cemeteries.
They have. How long until there's more? I mean, I know that like there's more people in the ground than there are alive, but like how long until there's nowhere left to bury people? Like I know in like Japan they already have to like stack them, right? Like
there's a lot of cemeteries that are filling up, but they're figuring out that like I've heard of some cemeteries that are having to like move things around to make people fit because they're out of room.
That's disturbing. How long does a casket last underground?
Not very.
But they put them in those concrete boxes now.
Right, the concrete box will last a really long time.
So that's probably what they move around, right? They don't open that up. Why would they open it up?
There's a lot of stuff that like, so one of the things that they're trying to get to is like, if grandpa is buried somewhere, then like rig it up so that like the kids are cremated and then buried with grandpa, so that then it's like you're not really getting another plot, but
That's horrifying. Well, I know that there was trouble because where they're putting them in those concrete blocks, they don't break down. Like that doesn't ever break down. So that plot that would have normally, over time, the cemetery would, I don't know that anyone was buried here, and then you dig it up and it's just bones, and you're like, oh shit. That doesn't happen anymore because they're just a slew of concrete boxes.
Concrete. Well, and they're starting to do a lot more like metal caskets, like aluminum caskets and things like that.
So bad.
Yeah, so that's just going to be just like there.
Caskets tend to break open when being buried. That's horrifying.
It doesn't happen often. Like, and it depends on the cemetery. So like some places they have stuff rigged up so it actually works really well. They put the coffin down on these straps and the straps just like lower it down in. Some other places like bring in a backhoe and strap it to a backhoe, and that I can see like stuff breaking open.
Yeah.
It all depends on like the cemetery and where you're at. Make life easier on everyone. Just get cremated. Like,
yeah, I don't want to be around forever. Like, it's my depression talking. Like, I barely want to be around now. Why do I want to last forever underground? That's fucking depressing.
Like, just cremation is so much easier. Like, it's easier on family. Like, it's easier on finding a place to put you. Like, you can stack like 5 in a burial plot if you're cremating them. It's just
take me home, throw me out the window on the way.
And if you burn the remains, no ghosts. Like, that's exactly
true. And you don't have to worry about me coming back as a vampire.
Yep. It's already dealt with.
It is a win-win-win.
I told Mrs. Pastor to make sure to throw some salt in when they burn me, just to make sure.
I want Johnny to shove a bunch of fireworks in my throat after I'm dead. So that when they burn me, there's like fireworks. That would be dope.
Oh, yeah, the Reaper, the casket breaking under the weight of the dirt, that absolutely makes sense.
Houdini almost died that way.
Didn't like Mythbusters do a thing where basically like the dirt is so heavy that there's no way you would ever dig yourself out of a coffin?
Yeah, there's no. It's dumb. This is dumb. Like 6 feet is a lot of fucking dirt, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dirt. I don't even know. How would you I like in movies when they show that, you're like inside the coffin and they're like breaking the wood and they finally get the wood split and dirt starts to come in, and then you just cut to the next scene where a hand
next thing
comes
is the like hand coming out. Yeah.
None of the hard stuff in the middle that doesn't make any sense.
No, in the olden days where they just like dug out a big enough hole to cover the coffin and then put it back, like totally. But not when they're coming in with a backhoe and digging a 6-foot hole in the ground.
Yeah, no, there's no digging your way out.
And plus when they put the concrete vault on top of it, like,
how much air do you think you have? There can't be that much air in there, you'd have
Yeah,
to
there
start
would
getting
be.
high like really quick, right? Like you're already going to burn through the oxygen and start getting the
Oh,
brain
yeah.
fuzzies. I buried someone
'Cause
3 feet
it's-
down and they couldn't dig their way out.
Actually, so here's
It's good to
something
know.
interesting. In a lot of jurisdictions, the vault, the concrete thing, isn't actually required, but they all shady funeral homes will encourage it because it's more money for them.
Shady funeral homes encourage everything. Like
Right.
99% of the time, you don't need to be embalmed, but they make you do it anyway. They just put it on the bill.
Yeah, you have to do it if it's over a certain length of time, but
But
which
most
again
people,
is why cremation is so much easier.
and most people still get buried within the time frame that you don't have to worry about getting embalmed. Unless you're waiting like a week or two for family to fly in or whatever, you don't need to be
Right.
embalmed.
Well,
you don't need
but
to.
again, which is why you just do cremation, because then if
True.
you need to wait a couple weeks, you're just there. You're chilling in a box.
I want you to do a life cast of my face and put it on like a dummy head and then fill my face up with me. And I can just sit on the desk looking at you.
Okay, I like it. Like a death mask. Just
Yeah.
stare.
You know what? I should build like a head and I could put like a Raspberry Pi in it. And the eyes, whenever you walk by, the eyes would follow you.
Somebody walks up and the eyelids just flash open.
I could be like Siri. You could say, "Hey, Satyr," and it would go. And then you could be like, "What's the weather going to be like today?" And I'd be like,
man.
93 and raining.
So I was walking out the door and I tried to ask Google what the weather was going to be and have the Google Home tell us. And Google goes, "I heard kill everyone. Is that correct?" And I'm like, "No, I asked for the weather." It says, "Okay, playing songs about killing everyone." Just what?
Wow.
Google, no.
I have to admit, when Google said, I thought what I heard was kill everyone. Is that what you'd like to do? There would be part of me that would be like, is this how Skynet starts? Like, this is the beginning of Skynet, isn't it?
Oh,
Yes. Have you seen the video of the
Okay.
guy who recorded him yelling to let him out? And yes, I did see that. And like nobody could
Oh,
keep a
man.
straight face. I like that. See, I want to do something like that so that everybody doesn't feel weird. Because
That's
they're like
like-
weird, man.
it's because we have this weird obsession with death, and yet we never talk about it, so no one knows how to deal with it.
Yeah, so we just stand around sad. and,
Right.
And like the only processing that we have is we cry in a big group and then drink a lot.
But then it's like, then you just are expected to like get on with it,
yeah.
and then and it's never brought up.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean you're still sad about your grandpa dying 3 years ago? You just get over it, suck it up, and deal with it.
Yeah.
We all have dead grandparents.
We've been
It's like,
watching
no, that's not how it works.
we've been watching the Scream movies to get caught up before the new one, because the new one's coming out.
Yep.
And that first movie, like, first of all, the second one didn't age well. The first one aged gracefully. The second one did not age well.
Really?
Which
Which
is
one was
weird.
the second one?
Second one is them in college.
Oh, okay.
And like the frat stuff is in there.
Yeah.
That one, oddly enough, felt more like weirdly old, whereas the first one didn't
Okay.
have a lot of stuff to make it feel super old. But one of the lines in that is her, Sydney, talking to her boyfriend, the first one, and she's talking about her mom that died a year ago, and he says, you know, I can't believe you're not over that yet. When my mom left, my dad, and she's like, yeah, your mom left. She's not 6 feet underground. Anyway, it's a whole funny thing. But yeah,
like-
I don't know where I got.
You're right, Reaper. Like, humans are scared to death of dying. And I think part of the problem is we don't talk about it.
Yeah, we don't.
Like, I remember, like, I was trying to explain to someone that like, yeah, I have memorial tattoos planned for my parents. It's like, well, that's an awful thing to think about. Like, why?
It's going to happen. One of us is
Like-
going to die first. Right?
Like it is inevitable that we are all going to die.
Yeah. It fucking Dan Savage on one of his podcasts many moons ago said every relationship fails, right? Every relationship is going to end like by the relationship falling apart until at least one ends with one of you dying.
Yeah.
And like that's the payoff for having a good, healthy relationship is that one of the two of you has to deal with the other one dying.
Right.
That's fucking horrifying.
Right. It is.
That's
And
horrifying.
also, yes, Dan Savage throwback.
Yes, always. I started listening to him again on my drive home from work because the traffic is so bad, and it's just.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
But yeah, like
listen to Dan Savage.
that's one of the things that I've started doing when I do funerals is just like I always am like, look, this moment in time is awful. Like the first thing that we need to do is acknowledge that y'all are having a bad time right now. Because we don't make space for that.
Yeah.
Everybody just thinks you have to just get over it. It's like, no. Like you feel what you are feeling.
What do you normally do for funerals? Like, what do you talk about?
So my like normal funeral thing. So obviously, like if somebody's asking a pastor to do a funeral, they're gonna want they're gonna want to find some hope in everything, right? Like so what I usually do is like that acknowledgement of like this is a crappy time. Like you're supposed to be feeling all of the things that you're feeling right now, and everything you're feeling right now is perfectly fine. And then pivoting to like kind of I've got some standard Bible verses that I read that are about like the resurrection of Jesus destroys death. We have hope for a resurrection where we'll be reunited with our loved ones again. But I always like I don't just dive straight into that like the message of hope. Like I take that time to sit with there is a loss that you experienced and we need to celebrate that person. Like celebrate the life that you had with them, take the time to mourn that loss, but then also like look towards that Christian hope of a resurrection.
It's really interesting. Like when we first moved here, a bunch of people died. Like that first couple of years, it seemed like people were dying left and right. So we went to a lot of funerals, and this is a very religious place. And it was interesting as someone who is not religious, going to funerals of people that were very religious in their life and their funerals being very religious, that makes sense. But then going to funerals of people who were not religious at all, but their funerals were religious. That was a weird thing to see.
Yep. Those are always odd.
Yeah. And then like one of them that we went to, both me and Johnny on the way home were talking about how awkward it was because the person wasn't a religious person, but their family had brought in their pastor to come in.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't talk about the death at all, went straight into shit that had nothing to do, just preacher shit, just doing preacher shit.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday preacher shit. And it was awkward for everyone.
I knew some folk that would like altar call at a funeral, and I'm just like, no, sir, that is
Read
that
the
is
room.
not-
Jesus.
it is always a sir. Like it is never a ma'am doing that. It is always a sir.
100%.
And I'm just like, sir, this is not the time.
Yeah. Sir, this
Like-
is a Denny's. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And for me, like, yes, I am absolutely going to talk, like, I'm going to read some Bible verses and I'm going to talk about the resurrection. That's what I do. And I assume that because you asked me to do this, that's what you want me to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I have somebody that's like, I want you to do my funeral, but I don't want you to talk about that, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to want to say a couple prayers, but like I can leave a lot of this stuff out of it because like if you don't want that. But it's just like, because I do that for weddings where there's more planning. Like if there's a couple that just like somebody that knows me, and I've done this with a lot of weddings of people who like, they knew me, they wanted me to do their wedding because I can, and it made their lives easier. But they're like, we are not religious. Like our family is, we're kind of having you do it because like, we know you're not going to say something stupid, but you're going to make our families happy by mentioning God. I'm like, I can chill it out. Like, I'll do a prayer at the beginning, a prayer at the end, do some like generic stuff, but I'm not going to make it all preachy at you.
So that's perfect.
Because you got to read the room.
Yeah.
Like,
and oddly enough, I started this job again, right? Going back to work with all these old coworkers. Like day 3, one of my old coworkers walks up to me and says, "Hey, I have a question for you." And I was like, "Yeah? Would you do me a favor in June?" And I was like,
okay.
"What are you talking about? Would you be okay with signing marriage paperwork?" And I was
yeah,
like,
because you're ordained.
"Yeah." And I was like, "Well, yeah. Are you getting married?" "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And his fiance, I had met at our Friday lunches years ago, and she specifically wanted me to sign the paperwork. They're not doing anything special.
Cool.
And I was like, "Okay, yeah, absolutely." But it's just weird because I forget sometimes that I can do that.
Oh yeah.
You could technically read from the Necronomicon if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could read from Naked Lunch. That's probably what should be read at my funeral.
The one thing that I always tell people, like no matter what, to not do at a funeral is never, ever have open mic time.
Yeah.
I had one family who was like, no, it'll be fine. I'm like, telling you,
horrible
this is not a good
idea.
idea. Like, it is going to go off the rails. No, it'll be fine. And like the first person was fine. Second person was fine. Third one was like that edge of not being fine.
Like people
and
are
then
starting
after
to
that,
feel awkward.
After that, it went so off the rails. And I'm just like, you wanted this, and like, I can't rein this in with like, I will do my best, but like, you're the one that said anyone who wants to say anything.
I do think a roast would be a fun idea for a funeral.
But like, you don't want to do that at the, like.
Oh, hell yes, you do.
Okay, good. Like, if you're doing that on purpose, sure. Yeah, you're right. Like
if that's the mood that you could set at a funeral.
But you have to be on purpose about it.
Oh yeah.
You can't just be like, have the guy run up and start dropping the R word about like how you and this one guy used to pick on this poor kid when you were growing up. And I'm like,
what's happening here? No. Like
I'm
if
not
it was
sure how to shut this one down.
If it was like a known thing, like this funeral is going to be us roasting him.
Yeah.
Like my funeral.
And you open it with like, hey, this is what the dude wanted. Like, we are going to roast him, and I'm going to start by telling this story that makes him look bad.
I think the only way to do it that everyone would be okay with it, and it would be super fucking weird, is if you recorded a video before you died of you roasting yourself and said, look, we know this is weird, but this is what he wanted, and to start it off, he's going to roast himself for a minute. And then you could tear into yourself because you're not going to be there. Say whatever you want.
Yep.
And then that'll like alleviate the weirdness for everyone else.
So the other thing that's always hard to like get across to folk. So there, and I always give, it's like contradictory advice almost. So like if you're still alive and thinking about the time when you die, I'm like, look, the best thing you can do is plan your funeral and have it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like I need to do that. Like I just keep forgetting.
Yeah.
But like, it makes life so much easier on everybody to just be like, okay, here's the thing I want, and then you just like give it to everybody and it's done.
Is there like a will that you can download and just fill out and then take it to someone and have them like, here's his will?
Me?
A DIY will?
So I think kind of, but you have to like they're valid if you write them yourself, but if you like use a template, you need to, I don't know. It's weird. Wills are weird.
Have you ever
But
seen...
the other thing, like if people didn't plan ahead and like the family's having to deal with it, the thing that I always want to say, but have yet to figure out how to say it is like, look, this funeral isn't for them anymore. It's for you. What's going to make you feel best?
Right.
I always like try to steer them that way, but like nobody ever thinks like that. And it's really tough because they're all like, well, I don't know what grandma would have wanted. I'm like, it doesn't really matter what grandma would have wanted.
It's weird. Like, it is a little weird though. Like, so one of Johnny's friends that was really close friend growing up died right after we got here. Had been having health issues for a while, and he was really goth. Really goth his entire life. And they buried him in a brown suit.
Ugh. Like, at least make it a black suit.
Right. And or like his entire wardrobe, literally any outfit, it was all funeral wear, right? Like any outfit would have been great. But
why would you go with a brown suit?
And it was obviously not his suit.
Why would you go with a brown suit anyways? Like,
well, it was weird too because he was like, he was into witchcraft and not a Christian, and they brought in a Christian preacher, and like the entire audience was just looking at it like, the fuck is happening?
At that point, like, you feel bad. Like, if the preacher's actually going into it with good intentions, like, you feel bad if the family like gave him wrong information.
Yeah. Well, and it was 100% for his grandmother, who was the person who raised him. Like, it was all for her. And the cool thing was that everyone in the audience was like, this is for her. We're all here for her. Like, obviously.
And that's good. Because like I've done a bunch of funerals for people that I've like never met. Like, it happens.
Right.
And it's always awkward. Especially like if nobody from the family wants to say anything. And you're just like, I'm just going to talk generically because I do not know this person.
Yeah. I don't know this person at all. I heard he was all right.
And that's like, and when I'm in that situation, like, I don't say anything about, like, I don't do personal information. Like, I'm just like, I will say things like, I can tell from like the stuff that you've got up that you're going to really miss Jimmy.
Right, like, I can tell from these pictures that you all fucking hated this boy.
Right. Like,
you're all happy he's dead. So let's go get a beer.
Yeah. And I try to like read the room and be like, if somebody was really into a certain activity, like if I see something where like some dude just like holding up animal heads all the time or whatever, like maybe I'll try to mention that somehow.
Right.
Like,
he was really into hentai and video games. I think that a Christian wedding and funeral are what most people in the U.S. think of because that's pretty much all you see in movies. Yeah. I think there's a trend going away from that. I've had a lot of people ask me, would I do a wedding for them? Because obviously you're not Christian and we want to do something that's not normal. I'm like, sure. Like, I'll try it.
Well, even when I do a wedding, like if I'm doing a wedding for people who like I know aren't Christian and they're not like just don't do anything religious, but they want me to do the wedding, I'm like, hey, like I'm glad to do it. Like I want to do like an opening prayer and a closing prayer, and then and maybe read something from the Bible, but we can find something that's like generic enough that you'd be down with it, and like because I'm not there in that moment to shove God down people's face.
Right.
But too many pastors think that they are. Like they think, a wedding. I can preach the gospel.
Ugh, so gross. This is my chance to talk to people who don't come to my church. Fuck off.
And I know so many people that actually think about that. And I think of it that way too, but in a very different way.
Right.
It's more like this is a chance for me to do something and not be a dick. Like,
Bye, Sang. Thanks for hanging out, man.
bye.
Bring me some food. 'Cause I'm hungry too. A funeral
Like,
would be
I
weird
wish-
without a priest or without someone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what the fuck to do at a funeral. If someone
The
said,
other
"Hey,
thing that's
come to
weird,
the funeral."
the other thing that's weird with funerals is like like inevitably, especially if it's someone who's like not churchy but grew up churchy. There's always that like, oh, I've always been meaning to come back to church. I'm just like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, I don't care that you don't come to church. Like, I just want you, like, you asked me here, and I like, why are you asking me here if you feel guilty about me being here?
Right.
But
Yeah.
you can't say that to people.
Plus, there's people also just have that, like, they're trying to appease everyone, right? They're telling you what
Right.
they think you want to hear.
Right.
Because they assume that you're there you're judging them.
Also, you're a special case, Reaper. I only hate you.
You are the
I hate you the mostest.
you are the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah. But yeah, like being a pastor, like it's such a weird, it's especially been different like since moving out here, because like in Utah you don't have that like pastor status that you get in other places, because like so many people are Mormon, like so
Right.
being a pastor, like that's not really a thing. Like their equivalent, like there's a new leader of the church every like 3 years, so like
It's weird.
it could be you next.
Right.
So but like out here there is that weird like status thing that I'm not really comfortable with.
Better get used
but
to it,
it's
homie.
like, right, but you get that like they feel as if I will be judging them for not coming to church,
Yes. Yeah, there's a
and
lot of
it's
that.
just like I'm not going to be doing that. Like
You have to
I don't actually want you there if you don't want to be there.
Yeah, you have to imagine that people that have never met you, this is like people who have never met you, when you tell them that I am a leader in a church, they're going to automatically fill the vacancy that is knowing you
Yes.
with all of the bad shit.
Absolutely. 100%.
They're going to be like, "Oh, fuck. So this guy,
100%.
this guy's homophobic, he's probably racist, definitely sexist."
And depending on where you live, might get people to open up to you a little bit more.
I mean, you're
And
not
then they
wrong.
find out.
You're not
but-
wrong.
Like the number of times, again, it is that white person thing that assumes that every other white person thinks exactly the same way that they do.
Mhm.
Right?
Oh yeah, it's
Like
weird,
the
man.
the things that I have heard people say, because they just assume that because I look like a straight cis white male, that I am conservative and like conservative, I'm homophobic, I'm racist, like all of that. And I'm like, what? And the beard doesn't hurt, like it doesn't help, but like seriously, like
Right?
like what about that this particular genre of earring makes you think like
It's it's weird. Like, so I work with all these guys that I don't know very well, and the environment isn't really designed for us to get to know each other.
right,
So we're there to
code
work.
monkeying all day.
Right. And like most of them work from home. We're not around each other. We don't really interact. But like one of the guys that's in the room with me is very right wing. Like conspiracy theorists kind of
Okay.
that version.
All the fun stuff.
Which is like, whatever, I don't care. I don't want to talk politics at work anyway, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fair.
So he was in work the other day, and I have my headphones on, which, by the way, the headphones that I bought, 100% would recommend them for anyone.
Oh, those like...
My Bluetooth ones.
Yeah.
The sound, the noise canceling on them is, even though it's passive noise canceling, it's amazing. So a bunch of people standing around in my room talking to him toward the end of the day. I have been going in a little early and taking really short lunches so that I can leave early. So I have my headphones on. I'm trying to wrap my day up. They're all standing around talking. I don't know what they're talking about. I think something about the Ukraine-Russia shit. I don't know. So I finish, pack up all my shit, say, see you guys later, and leave. And about 7:30 that night, I get a message on Slack. He tried to call me on Slack, which, first of all, don't. I'm not answering that. But then he never said anything. The next day, I wrote him on Slack and was like, were you trying to get in touch with me? And he was like, yeah, I just wanted to apologize.
Oh, man.
Because I was taught, I didn't think about it. You may have family down in Ukraine. I don't know what, and I didn't want to, I probably overstepped some boundaries, and I'm going to try to keep that in check. And the whole time I was just like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
What went down when I couldn't hear?
Right. Like, what the fuck were they talking about? But I assumed that it was just like, because they were talking about political shit, and then I just like popped up and left, that they assumed I was mad or something. And I'm like, no, man, I just ready to go home. I'm here to make money, not friends. I don't give a shit.
So I'm going to try to say this loud enough that Mrs. Pastor can overhear. So she scared the crap out of me because I get this notification that an email came in that just says funeral, didn't see who it was from. And I'm like, oh crap, am I going to have to work tomorrow? So scares the crap out of me first. But she overheard me talking about how I haven't like put together this thing in a list. So she put together hers and just sent it to me.
Oh, perfect.
And I just need to share 2 lines from it. The first one is obviously I wrote this on my phone typo. Alcohol at the deception.
Yes,
that's what it's called now.
Should
that is
definitely
the deception.
be alcohol at the deception.
And she wants to have her ashes there so she can see the ensuing drama.
I mean, that's
like,
fair.
okay,
That's
yep.
totally fair.
That is fair.
Ooh,
Yeah, that scared the crap out of me.
You got to work tomorrow.
When I just saw funeral.
I want to put me in a little jar for the Decepticon, and put googly eyes on it so that people feel like I'm
googly
I'm
eyes.
looking.
That's good.
There we go.
Yes,
Is the funeral
googly
a
eyes
Game
are
of
absolutely
Thrones?
perfect. Maybe that's what you do. Like you just have like a giant game of. I mean, I'm going to call it Mafia because Among Us is basically Mafia, but
It really
like
is.
have a game of Mafia at the funeral and figure out like who killed you. Like who's the most sus?
You could set up a whole fucking game, dude.
Yes.
Like, and
Oh
you
my
could have a
gosh.
table with like the different things that are possible. Maybe it was this that killed
Yeah.
him. Maybe it
And
was
that's
this.
the
that killed him.
deception.
Yes, it really could be the Decepticon.
It
You were
could
at the
be
deception.
the Decepticon at the deception. Oh, that's perfect.
That's actually a really good idea.
Sounds like a lot of planning needed.
It does, but like you have your whole life to do it.
Right. Hopefully got some time to figure it all out.
That would
Man,
be
that would be so amazing.
That would
like
actually,
a life-size Clue game.
I wonder if there's a business for that. Like, is that a market to have like funeral games? Like games specifically designed for people to play at funerals.
Games to play at funerals. Top 8 games to play at a funeral. Oh, these are like video games to play at a funeral. No. I don't want that. I don't want like games to play like when you're bored at a funeral.
How do you make a funeral fun? Have a themed memorial. Ooh, that'd be make everybody dress up.
Set up a few board games. No, I don't want like. That's not what I want. Like
Live streaming.
death positive games.
Okay, here we go. Games to play at wakes and funerals.
Okay.
Ring around the body. Hide and seek, a
Okay.
good one for graveside funeral parties. Tiddlywinks for the toddlers. Pin the tail on the coffin. If you were to do that, I would ant some of the things that killed me to be in a ridiculous sized dildo, a hooker, and a massive pile of flour. But don't tell them it's flour. Right. See how many people
gosh.
snort it.
Games to play at a funeral. Don't wake daddy.
Everybody wins.
Spin the body.
Oh, I want a fun funeral.com. There's a game that you can play called Morbid Curiosity, which is, it looks like, oh, it's like a Kickstarter. What is this?
Wacky funeral home parlor games. Casket sardines. Name that appendage. Oh, and weekend with Grammy. Just make sure you get the remains back within 48 hours. Dry ice not included.
It would be interesting. There's definitely stuff you could do, right? But like, if there was a service out there that you could just, because there's going to be a lot of people that don't plan.
Yeah.
But if you could like have a bunch of stuff pre-planned instead of like, screw normal funeral shit. Like here we're going to do Clue.
Yep. That would be fantastic.
Tell us about the dead person so that we can get items that are like, what's his favorite record? What did he do for fun? He was a hiker. Cool. Let's get hiking shit in it. Like,
Yep. Find like you got a bear. Let's see if a bear did it. Like
yes, I like it.
that would be fun.
And you could have like an epic level, like an advanced version where they actually like do stuff to the body, and you have to like examine. That would be amazing.
You have to go up to the casket and like check for the cause of death.
Yes.
There's a knife wound sticking up at a certain angle. All right, the person is over 6 feet tall that stabbed him.
Big rubber knife. A Halloween themed funeral with guess which corpse is the real one. I like it.
Like this, I know so many people that this sort of thing would make so uncomfortable.
See, and I know so many people that would be so excited to have like something fun to do at a funeral.
That's also why, like, when I do a funeral, I'm like, I want you in and out in 15 minutes. Like, I don't want to have these like long drawn out funerals. Like, my record is 9 minutes, and I'm proud of that.
9 minutes.
Like, I got folk in and out 9 minutes for the whole funeral.
Wow.
Like, because people don't want to, like, especially if it's like during the week, people are on their lunch break. Like, you want to get, like, don't take up too much of people's time.
Yeah. So weird. When my friends.
And no one has ever said to me, like, oh, I wish the funeral was longer.
Right.
Like, whoever would say that?
Yeah. Funeral at Chuck E. Cheese's and just stick me in the ball pit.
Find the funeral, win a prize.
Get your pizza for free. You could have like a gold ball that you'd like spray paint gold that's like
I thought
in
you
your
meant,
hand.
Like, your actual ball
your
would
testicle.
be gold. And if you find the testicle, then you get the free, you get the like big bear prize.
Like winch them into the dead person's hands and say, if you bring me the silver ball, you'll get a prize.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And someone has to go literally pry them out of your cold dead hands.
And make sure it's something that you once said, like, you can have this when you pry it out.
Yes.
That's how you do the, like, when everybody wants their inheritance, like, you find all the stuff that he was like, you can have this when you pry it out of my cold dead hands, and you put them in the
In
cold
his
dead
cold
hands,
dead hands, yes.
and whoever pries it out of there wins, and they get the thing.
I like it. And you have to like, see, you'd have to be like, you'd have to be, they'd have to put you together to special, because you'd have to have your eyes open, looking at the person.
Yeah, and there would need to be like, there'd have to be some reinforcement to happen to like make sure that there's a good solid grip on that thing.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe even like run an air conditioner on you so it's like extra cold.
It's just hard. I like it.
Yeah.
I saw
Make it a challenge.
I saw a TikTok the other day from a woman that worked in a mortuary, and she was like, I think it's funny. She's like, all of these people, I know all of these people in my life who are so homophobic. And like the idea of even doing butt stuff in a straight relationship is out of the question because that is gay. Just know when you're talking to these people and you know that like there's no way you're going to change their opinion or whatever, just know that this is what's in store for them. And she slaps this thing on the table that is a big plastic butt plug with a screw at the bottom, and she's like, everybody gets at least one of these. Women get two.
Yep. So I was watching Philip DeFranco, and he was talking about how he's going to have to get a colonoscopy because of all the health issues he's been having lately. And he's just like, 16-year-old me would be like, oh no, that's going up where? And now like 36-year-old me is just like, you mean I get a 45-minute nap in the middle of the day?
Yes, it's so true. Those are the good drugs too. Those drugs are amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Out like a light, and you wake up so refreshed. It was like you slept for a week. It's amazing. I want more surgeries just so, like, I understand why Michael Jackson got addicted to the shit.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing.
Yeah, because the stuff when they need to like put you way under, that you're like non-functional for a day and a half afterwards.
Well, I was completely under, and I was functional. Like, Johnny took me to the store, and I shouldn't have been at the store, but I was walking around and shit. I wasn't making much sense.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to go home and go to bed, but he was like, we got to stop and get groceries.
Because when I had my nose fixed so I can breathe, they like, I watched all of the, like all 3 Ghostbusters movies and completely forgot. So like when, like to the point that like I finished the other one and I said to Mrs. Pastor, like, I want to watch Ghostbusters. And she's like, you just watched all 3 Ghostbusters movies. You need to pick something else.
But I want to watch Ghostbusters.
I was utterly non-functional.
Ah, yes. Good drugs. Good drugs. I need more water.
Okay, we'll take a minute. Get some stuff and things.
We'll be right back. While we're gone, I think Reaper's the only person here.
Maybe.
While we're gone, Reaper, what is something you've always wanted to know about us, but we're too afraid to ask?
Ooh.
All right, we'll be right back.
One.
I like it. All right. And we're back. Have you ever killed a hooker?
Nah, that I know of.
I've killed hundreds of hookers. Because we'd give you a health boost in Grand Theft Auto to sleep with a hooker, and then you could get your money back if you killed them. So yes, I've killed hundreds of hookers.
Fair.
Sorry, I'm reading a Facebook post.
Right. That's dangerous.
It is. Dude, Facebook is a mess right now.
Oh yeah. I don't really go on Facebook much anymore, because you.
Because of me?
A
I'm
thing
sorry,
that-
I'll stop posting.
No, because you. Not
you.
You. So like, there are sufficiently many pastors who I am friends with who have been sufficiently unpastoral that it just
Weird.
like I mean not weird at all, really.
I mean, it's not.
But like, yeah, it's just a lot.
Does anyone ever
because
call him out on it?
Usually not, because if they do, then someone gets piled on with like, oh well, that's a pastor. You're like God, blah 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 blah, and like starts questioning like if they're really Christian. It's like, like that's not good.
I always just want to respond with, yeah, I remember when Jesus said that in the Bible. Remember that part where Jesus said, fuck immigrants? Yeah, I remember that. When he said, screw everyone who's not from America, shithole countries. I remember that.
When he specifically, when Jesus specifically said that, bless America in particular and no one else.
Yes.
God bless only America.
United States of America is the Holy Land. Remember that part of the Bible?
It says it in the Constitution. God bless America, right?
Yes.
That holy book.
The Holy Book.
The Consta Bible.
I saw a pastor on TikTok talking about how funny it is that people hold the Bible. It like even on the cover says it's the Holy Bible, but technically it's not holy.
It never actually calls itself holy.
Yeah, because it's not. It was made by men, so there's nothing holy about
Well,
it. Like,
what's even funnier is like people will often call the Bible the Word of God, but the Bible never calls itself that.
right. It's
Like,
like the dumbing
It
down
says
of
that
people.
Jesus is that.
Well, it's the word, right? The Bible talks about the word all the time, and then people are like, "Well,
Yeah.
that must be the Bible. That must be what it's talking about."
I mean, it might also be a bird, but
The bird of God.
the bird is the word.
Everybody knows the bird's the
Yeah.
word.
So you don't need.
bird.
So nobody actually talks about that word.
Right.
Everybody knows.
How funny would it be if that was all just a like misunderstanding? No. This is just shitty death metal lyrics. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So there is a funny, like, talking about the immigrant stuff. There are some theories out there that, like, part of the reason why the Bible is so pro-immigrant is because around the time when they were compiling a lot of it, there was a whole bunch of refugees from the like northern half of what is now Israel who were fleeing the Assyrians, and they were trying to like create this. They were basically like justifying why these two former enemies can now live together in peace. Because like the North and the South, they got along not well. Like sometimes they ganged up on somebody else, but for the most part, they were kind of not quite getting along with each other. But all these refugees started coming in, and they needed to figure out a way to like be nice. And they're like, oh, well, we were originally one kingdom together. And by the way, like we were once, like we need to be really nice to immigrants too. Like, because there's all these immigrants coming in and they had to deal with it.
Interesting.
Because there's a couple places where there's two strands of thought you can see in scripture about a lot of things. Like the book of Ruth makes one argument about should you marry foreign women? And like the book of Ezra, I think, makes like the opposite argument. And it seems like the book of Ruth's take that yes, it's okay to marry foreign women won. And like
Weird.
it's crazy. But
It's
like
all
if you
weird.
just are like, well, that's the Bible, it's all the things.
Herk, nerk, nerk.
Yeah. Then you miss a lot of that fun stuff because like yeah. Is that why doves are so popular? That's because a dove landed on Jesus when he was baptized.
The bird is the word, is why.
Yes.
Wasn't it a dove that supposedly brought back the thing of hope or whatever from the Noah boat shit?
Oh, yeah. It was a dove that brought the
The thing of peace or whatever
Was
the
it a
fuck it
dove?
was.
yeah. It had an olive leaf
Yes.
because and then they waited another week because there's a lot of water.
There's a lot of water.
That's the other thing that's fun. Like, there was obviously some kind of cataclysmic flood in the ancient Near East because, like, everyone has a flood myth.
So the Book of Ruth is banjo playing, and the Book of Ezra tells me to get a mail order bride. Yes.
No, other way around.
Oh.
The Book of Ruth says to get a mail order bride, and the Book of Ezra is more the banjo.
That sounds. Those names check out. Ezra does sound like someone who would marry their cousin.
Because Ruth is a foreigner who ends up like becomes like super duper King David's grandma, and that Ezra, like, there's a scene where they read in the Bible that they're supposed to not marry foreign women, so they divorce their wives and send their children away, and it's like, no, no. That is not the solution.
That is exactly the solution. What are you talking about? So I total tangent.
All right, we probably need that.
When I started this job, I hadn't programmed in like 2 years, other than stupid little shit that I was doing on my own.
Yeah, so a little rusty.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I need to get tools again. What are my tools? What am I going to use? And because it was free, I grabbed Microsoft's VS Code.
Okay.
I have never loved a piece of software from Microsoft as much as I love VS Code. It is
Really?
amazing. And it just keeps getting better and better. They did a thing here about a week ago talking about new features that they were releasing. So Microsoft a while ago bought Git, which is...
Yeah.
And they've been making changes to it that, to be completely honest, needed to happen. So they have built a web version of VS Code that works in your browser, which is cool. Like, you can program in your browser now.
Okay.
This is mind-boggling. The coolest part,
Has Git integration?
it's tied directly into Git, so you can work
nice.
directly on your project in Git from the browser without ever touching anything dev related. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
So, like, what does it let you...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
all of it.
So it's Sublime Text, but better.
Yes. So it's an IDE. It's a full IDE where
Okay.
Sublime Text is
Oh,
like...
so it's got all... So it does everything then. Okay.
Yes. And they just keep... And you... It's agnostic when you first get it. It's just an IDE.
Oh. And then you need to teach it things.
Yes,
I mean,
but
teach it things.
It has plugins for literally everything. So you
Okay.
can install like 4 plugins and it's a full-fledged PHP IDE. You can install like 4
Okay.
plugins and it's a full-fledged C++ IDE. Or you can do all of the plugins and it's all of the things.
Yeah. Nice.
There's a third-party program that pretty much every dev on the planet uses called Postman, which allows you to tweak custom HTTP requests. So if you're working with like a API and you're trying to like build out something to consume an API, you can use that to hit the API endpoints without having to like do it through code.
Okay.
And everyone uses it, and they started this paid thing and whatever, and it's stupid expensive. So the VS Code people were like, no, we'll just build this in here. You can just do this in here now.
Oh,
So now you can do all of this shit like directly in the IDE. It's amazing.
nice.
And you can run it via command line, like in Linux. So like if you're SSH'd into a Linux box, you can just do code period, and
It'll SSH in and
yes, it'll pull the IDE up on your machine, but be connected into whatever it is that you're working off of. It's so clean.
Nice.
It's so fucking clean. I love it. I love it.
JavaScript, Python, Java, C++, and then whatever plugin you want to throw in there. Wow.
It's super cool.
That would have been nice when I was coding.
And it's free.
Shoot.
Blows my mind.
Oh. A depressingly large number of years ago.
Yeah, it gets scary, right?
That was when I was thrown into a project that was basically like, here, this is a Cold Fusion website. You are maintaining it now. I'm like, but I don't know Cold Fusion. Okay. You'll learn it.
You will soon. Should Cold
It was
Fusion.
such a nightmare. Like, it's such a sloppy piece of, and then it ruined me when I was trying to learn PHP because it like does everything just different enough.
Just enough that nothing works right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just PHP. PHP is just always a little off. They're getting better though.
Going at it from Cold Fusion,
Yeah, that's
like, is even worse.
yeah. PHP has made leaps and bounds over the last couple of years.
Nice.
It's like pushing towards becoming a statically typed language, which is cool. So you could do like when you set up a variable right now, you can just say, here's a variable called Bob. And it can be
Yeah.
whatever you want. It can be a string here or an int over there or an array over here.
Oh.
But if you can like force them now to say this thing is a string and will always be a string, and if you try to
Yeah.
put anything else in it, we will say fuck you. And that's super nice.
That's handy. Yeah.
It just,
Yeah, because there's a database language that I did a lot in that was not good. It made me like SQL. It was that bad. That's it. But it was one of those that was like, it was trying to be plain language, but it just meant that you had to be incredibly specific with what words you used.
yeah.
And like, if you got something out of order, everything would just break. But it wouldn't tell you why.
Right. I had to
Because at
work
least
with
like if you get a join wrong, you know pretty quick that you got the join wrong.
right. It's like all the data's wrong. You're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Something's not right. I had to work with MongoDB at one point, which is a non-relational database.
You.
Which I mean, I get that there's a purpose for them, but I just don't know what that purpose would ever be. I've never seen anything that, like, even the one I was working on would have made more sense to be relational. Like, why are you putting all this data in one place and not connecting any of it? It's just stupid.
Right.
It's just dumb. And then you have to use, like, JavaScript to pull the data out. It's so weird.
You.
It was just gross. I was like, can we not
Just
do
seems-
this?
Difficult.
Yeah. It was dumb. Dumb. I don't get it. I never will because I'm old and I don't care enough to figure it out.
Every so often, one of my old coworkers will send me a message and just like, hey, I'm working on this project you're working on. Your comments are hilarious. Because they were like just full of comments about how much I hate everything
Yeah.
about it. And stuff like, I don't know why this works, but it does.
We have to be all nice about our comments and stuff because since we're in the security industry, we have a third party group that comes in once a year and they'll just like randomly pick like 20 commits out of all of it and go through those commits line by line and like, why is this like this? Why is this like this?
Oh, yeah. So you have to actually use comments as if someone doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, we have to be like nice about stuff. We can't say, I'm fixing this fucking thing again.
Yeah.
Stop breaking this thing. Nothing like that.
My favorite comment ever is still on the old inverse square root code from ID, and it's just like WTF.
We don't know why this works, but if you take it out, it's like, this shouldn't do anything, but if you take it out, it breaks.
Yeah.
So just leave it here and don't touch it.
Yeah, the comments are evil floating point bit level hacking, and then just what the F.
We had there was a thing that I fought with twice back when I was in support. And the first time I had to deal with it, it took me like a week to figure out what was wrong. And it was one of those things that like, this shouldn't do anything, but for some reason, if you mess with this, it breaks everything.
Yeah.
And so I fixed it and put it back into production. It went away, and then like a year later, it came back with the same fucking problem. And so yeah, there's a chunk of code somewhere that's like, if you touch this, I will find out where you live.
So that makes
kill
me
you in your
think
sleep.
of that makes me think of a Dave Rat video I watched where he was testing these two consoles, and he kept getting a buzz, and he just like couldn't figure out why something was buzzing. And it turned out that this one console, if you left it plugged in but turned it off, it had there was something with like the way that the connections were designed that it would put this huge buzz into your system if if it was able to create a loop somewhere between the input and the output. So it's like, so a new thing for you to try when you have a weird buzz is make sure nothing's off.
Weird.
What? Like, if it's off, it shouldn't do anything, right?
Yeah, it's so backwards.
But, yeah.
I saw a video, a TikTok, oddly enough. There's that dude, I don't even know his name. Engineer guy, all over YouTube. Anyway, dark-haired guy, talks funny. Anyway.
British guy?
No. Maybe?
Okay.
I can't remember. I've not watched a lot of his stuff. He seems a little, I don't know. It seems a little weird or something.
I mean, he's an audio guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. He was talking about this bass track. And he has a bass track, and he's like, I'm going to show you the thing. And he's like, here's what I do to process bass track. I've got 3 copies of the same bass track. First one, I'm going to put a filter, EQ, on, low-pass filter, at about 120 hertz. 120 to 250, depending on what the bass sounds like. And you want to just mute everything else and listen to it, and it should just sound like a solid, muddy sub-bass thing. It shouldn't sound like a bass, really. It's just kind of a
yeah,
right?
Okay.
Track 2, the exact opposite. High pass at the exact same space. So now you have your bass again. But
it's like a little too thin. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got it separated now. So now you take the high frequencies and run it through whatever you want. And he pushes his through like distortions and things to give it a little more bite.
Yeah.
And then the third one I think had something to do with reverb or something. I don't remember what the third one was, but it sounded amazing. And he's like, this is the best way to like distort a bass and make it bite more without screwing up your low end. Your low end sounds exactly like it should. Like, it's fine. It's going to be perfect. But you can tweak the high end to make it sound so much better without having to worry about it.
That was like when it's another stupid Dave Rat video, because this stupid surfer stoner looking dude is a freaking genius. And he's like, yeah, run your instruments into one subgroup, and put a compressor on it, run your vocals into another one, run this into the other one, and then like just make your vocal compressor's threshold a little bit higher than everything else, and the vocals are always on top, and you're just like, wait, what? Like that's so simple. That's so
right.
Stupid, and it's so simple.
It's so simple that I feel dumb now for having not thought of it before.
Because it's like, yeah, you could do this all with riding the faders, but why would you want to?
Yeah.
Like, just let the compressor do it. Like, but
I was watching one dude. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. I feel like people overcomplicate shit. And one of the videos I was watching is the guy processing vocals, and he was like manually going in and fader writing, like plotting dots on the volume fader. And it was like crazy. There was all of this stuff going on. And someone in the comments asked, like, why are you not just putting a compressor on that? And he was like, oh, I just like doing it this way. I'm like, are you high? Like, that had to take hours to do that one. Just put a compressor on it like a human.
That makes me. There was this one dude. It's this dude from the UK that obviously knows what he's doing. And like, I was always taught, like, make sure your automations are smooth so you don't notice. And he's doing these like hard on, hard off automations. And I was just like, well, what?
I mean, I do hard automations. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I'm expecting it to sound abrasive though. Like I do that on purpose because I like that.
Because he's like putting in stuff like, it's like, oh yeah, I'll put a high pass here on the kick and then I'll make it go away in the chorus so that it's, it's just like nice beefy kick. And then you go back to the verse and I put the high pass back in. That's actually a really super good idea. And also like it's just on and then off.
It is weird. It is weird. I heard something. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something with the reverb on your main vocal and then taking a copy of, like, having that bounced out as a separate track, but then taking a copy of your original vocal and inverting it to remove your original vocal from the reverb.
Oh.
Which just seems like a really complicated way, but like...
But wouldn't like being...
So it's like bussing it out to a different track, except it's actually removing the frequencies where the voice is, right?
Huh. Now, what I like to do, because I'll take the reverb in and then I'll flip one of the left or right. So then there isn't any reverb in the middle anymore.
Weird.
So like if it's a stereo reverb that comes in, then like I'll just flip the phase on one of the channels.
Yeah.
Just like whichever one sounds better.
Wouldn't that...
But it puts it all out to the sides.
Yeah. Wouldn't that cause like weird phase issues somewhere in there though?
Well, yeah, but you want them.
I mean,
because the weird phase issues are what make it be like out there, and it keeps the vocal in the middle really clean.
Yeah, that's actually not.
It's again, it's like the old '80s trick of like pan the guitar hard left, pan the guitar reverb hard right.
That irritates the shit out of me when I hear it now.
Well, yeah, but it works.
It does. I think that's why it irritates me, is because it's so obvious. Like once you know that that's what's happening, it's so obvious and it's so angrily like, fuck you for doing that to me.
Yep. Now I do that a lot. I never do it with just like one guitar, but if I have two guitars, I'll absolutely pan the reverb to the opposite direction.
Oh, weird. I didn't even think about
so that like the reverb of the right, it sounds really good on acoustics. So like the reverb from the right acoustic is then like underneath the left acoustic. And it fills it out.
It does sound
especially when you like.
It does seem like it would make those two sounds gel with each other a lot better.
Yeah. And then it sounds like just one big guitar.
Interesting. Huh. Dude, SoundPaint has released like 2 or 3 more. The shit that they're making.
You have a problem with SoundPaint stuff, man.
Dude, my comment on their last YouTube video was, please stop. My bank account can't take this. Like every time, I see that you have posted a new video, my wallet winces. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
They're amazing though.
That's why I like so many of the folk that I follow. I'm down to the stuff that's like, they're not telling you to buy new things. They're just telling you tricks. And they're always just tricks that make me feel like an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why I like the sound paint guys, is because they're like, it's just here's a thing, and you're going to listen to it, and you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. So just get it. Just get it. It's fine. The one that they just released is it's percussion designed for like theatrical stuff, to like like underbed.
They do a lot of like theatrical stuff.
Yes, I love all of it. I just love those sounds and just playing with them.
Yeah.
But the dude walks, he has a video, it's like an hour long. The first 10 minutes he's walking through all these sounds, and they're just like little thumps, like dink, bonk, bonk. And you're like, well, this is stupid. He's like, here's why these are so cool. And he turns the arpeggiator on, and all of a sudden it's like, and you're like, okay, well, there is what we're here for.
So there's a somebody at the church whose kid is doing audio technology in college, something like that. Like, but it's basically all this recording stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, here's something that's gonna like completely blow his mind. Because she was telling me how he's like, yeah, at some point he's gonna like, they're gonna throw him in a room and tell him to mic up a drum kit and just see what happens. I'm like, okay, let me tell you a trick. Put a mic in the hallway.
Yeah,
like,
somewhere not.
It will change your life.
Yes. Yes. God, they questioned the shit out of me at the studio. The first time we mic'd I think it was a guitar. We mic'd up a guitar amp, and they were focused on like getting the angle just right on the mic and making sure it was in the sweet spot or whatever. Meanwhile, I was setting 2 mics up across the room. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, you'll need it. We'll need it. We need it. And sure enough, it made it sound amazing. Like, you listen to just that, and it was like, okay, yeah, it's a distorted guitar. But, like, you bring that room in, and, like, all of a sudden, holy shit.
Yep.
So I always just throw one
extra. Still here, or did we lose him with the audio stuff?
Probably.
No, he's still here.
Just always throw one extra mic somewhere in the room.
Learning about like the crotch mic on a drum set, like compress the crap out of it, and it's amazing.
So, question. This is another TikTok thing. When you're mixing a drum set, I think we've probably talked about this. Do you mix it like you're facing the drums, or like you are sitting at the drum set? Where's the snare?
Depends. Okay. So if I'm mixing live, it's always how I see it.
That makes sense.
So like the stuff on house left gets panned house left. The stuff on house right gets panned house right. Because like when I'm live, it's all how I see it.
Right. That makes sense.
When I'm in the studio, my center is a line between the kick and the snare.
That makes sense.
So the kick is so I do 3 mics for overheads. I do it's a ribbon mic that's like in line over the kick and the snare. It works really well when the ride cymbal is also like in that line.
Of course we're still on.
We're still here. Then the ride, the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat all just kind of end up in a line.
Right.
The hi-hat's like a little bit off to the left. The ride's sometimes a little bit off to the right.
Okay.
But yes, I mix because I'm a drummer.
Right.
With everything from the drummer's perspective.
I saw a TikTok that completely changed my view on this, because I have always mixed them as though I was looking at the drummer. Because I'm like, you're wanting to experience as though you're sitting in the studio watching the drummer drum, right? This dude was like, nobody wants to imagine in their mind's eye that they're watching someone else play drums. Well, everybody wants to, when they have headphones on, they're walking down the street, they 100% want to be playing air drums.
Yeah, they want to air drum.
And I was like, oh, fuck. So true.
Have you So the other thing that this, like, when you draw the center line like that, where the kick and the snare are in the middle, it means that, like, the high toms are off to the left and the low toms are on the right. Yeah, so they just naturally in the overheads are going to go.
Interesting.
It make like shifting my center line from like over the snare and over the floor tom to this like triangle. It made life so much easier.
See, and I've always mixed for the like, because I don't really work with normal drum sets very much.
Yeah,
Most
you
of the
usually
stuff
do
is
like
yeah. And with that, I've always just kept like kick and snare dead center, so that this is where the beat is, and then your flourishy shit is out there somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where did I put that? Somewhere I made a really bad made a really like bad text image of all of that stuff. Where did I put it? It's in
Man,
here
she's
somewhere.
passed out.
Oh yeah, here it is. But I made this like it's this bad text image, but it's like here's the stuff that needs to be in the middle, like kick, snare, the bass guitar, the lead vocal, and then everything else like goes not in the middle.
Lead vocal in the middle. That's just so weird to me. I guess because I never think of a lead vocal track as a single track of audio. I always double it up. And
I don't
throw
mean
it.
like the. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it is in the middle. It means it sounds like it's coming from the middle.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like if you're hearing it, it's front and center.
Yeah.
Even if it's coming from everywhere.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Lord, I think I'm about burnt, man.
Yeah, we can call it a day. Yeah, thanks for putting up with this, Reaper. Even though I hate you.
And welcome back,
Never forget that. And welcome back, Sang.
Anu Barak, Varian, or Johanna. Which should I level next?
The one with the spiders.
Yes. Do the spiders next. Thank you guys, yes, for hanging out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Pastor Man, for hanging out with me.
You're very welcome.
I'll
be back in 2 weeks.
I'll be back next week unless I fucking break everything again.
Yeah, you know, it's likely.
Probably.
You really want to, you can check out the Pastor Rico's Parish. It's around in places. Gets posted to the Discord, which you should also check out.
I mean, it's really... Oh, I guess... I keep forgetting that, like, we're talking to people in the future now, too.
Yeah.
There's
Because it's not just people here. There's going to be, like, Barlazy. He's going to come back. He's
That's
going to
true.
listen.
Hi, Barlazy.
Hi, Barlazy from the future.
Yes, Nazebo.
We're Satyr and Pastor from the past.
We are. We are time travelers.
Is the world still there in your future?
Hold on.
Or has it gone away?
If music is painting with time and we're traveling in time with our voices, does that mean that we are voice painters? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I was going for.
Can I put you in timeout?
Yes, please do. Please do.
I think it's time for you to go to timeout.
I do need to go to timeout. I'm going away. Thank you guys for hanging out. Yes, Friday. And pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge.